Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Touching Tips, a podcast dedicated to the world of PSVR 2. My name is Karen Alive and Well, and I'll be introducing your hosts. From the west of Ireland, he is a visionary, a leader, a Pumpkins was once a successful businessman before a tragic incident left him with stage 2 ligma of the mind. No longer able to run his multinational POG corporation, Pumpkins turned to his other passion, PSVR. Hence this channel and later podcast were born. Pumpkins is famous all over the world thanks to the various Easter eggs dedicated to him in PSVR exclusive Firewall 0 Hour. Most famously, if you go to the hangar map in the air control tower, you will see radar screens with various aircraft designations that, when combined, spell out petrifying pumpkins. It really does make him better than you. From Mexico, he has many names: El Chupacabra, El Fuego, El Pasión. But around here we call him Mr. 777 or Jackpot. Mr. 777 moved to the United States as a wee lad. A former Xbox fan, Jackpot gave up on Team Green when he discovered the future is virtual reality, and has been on PlayStation since. Jackpot lives with his mother in her basement. She reached out to Pumpkins, begging him to let Jackpot be a co-host as she worries about his lack of social communication skills, as you will soon see for yourselves. He turned to marijuana at a young age and has reached a stage where if he were to ever stop smoking, the shock to his system would kill him immediately. Jackpot has a heavily stained pillow that he calls Amanda. He believes that she is real and that he is in a long-term relationship with her. His catchphrase is, "Bitch." And finally, all the way from the frigid wastes of Canada, comes Muzz. Muzz has a passion for maple syrup and discussing PSVR 2. He once got lost in the frozen tundra of northern Canada with his best friend. The ordeal was harrowing and led to Muzz eating the remains of his friend in order to survive. Shortly after, Muzz turned to VR gaming as a way to escape the horrors of the reality he leaves every time he puts on the headset. It's worth noting that while Muzz maintains his best friend was dead before he began to consume him, later studies of the remains hinted at the possibility that the friend died from infections that were caused from bites, though due to a handling error, the evidence was deemed inadmissible and Muzz walked free. He also has a cat. Without further ado, let the show begin. I've been Karen Alive and Well, and I will now hand you over to the strong, sexy hands of Pumpkins. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and all that usual YouTube shite.
What the fuck is this?
And we are live, I think, if we can get a Michael test. I'm sorry, I'm 15 minutes late. It wasn't my fault, actually. It was Discord's fault, and then it was my fault for rebooting my laptop because I never rebooted it. It takes 10 hours to start up. So yeah, Muzz is here and Jackpot's here. How you doing, lads?
Right on time.
Damn,
I was
Gandalf.
here early, like always.
Jackpot was actually
Jackpot
actually joined. He joined early for once, and then this happened. So.
Yeah, every
you guys
week.
told me the time it was gonna be for once, so I was
It is
ready.
the same time every single week. Every single week, this bitch over here. Where's
He
your
just
American
forgets.
flag? I told him to take it down. He listens to me because I'm the boss.
Listen, I replaced it. I was just scrolling on Amazon. And I was like, oh fuck, I need to spend $10 more in order to get free shipping. What should I do? And I got a T-shirt. Made me think about you.
What? You got an American T-shirt, like an American flag T-shirt? Is that what you're saying?
No, because if I get that, no, I'm wearing it right now. If I would get that, you would have gotten offended and kicked me out. You already threatened me. First, I said the Mexican flag, let me wear it, and then you're like, no, because you don't, I'm not even gonna go there. And
No
then
reason.
the American flag, I just decided to put it in to see what you were gonna say, and you can't complain because there's people here. So now I kind of got away with it, but now you complain, so now I just got the shirt.
What's that shirt?
What
What is that?
You can't see it.
I love Ram Ranch. Is that what that says?
I love good pot.
Oh my god! What
Look
a
at them.
biggest! What
What?
a biggest!
What do you mean?
What are you doing? What's that? It's an offensive stereotype on your T-shirt.
What do you mean?
You said you looked at that T-shirt and you thought of me. Explain
Who else
yourself.
would I have thought of?
Explain yourself? You biggest.
Because I
You
thought
absolute biggest.
leprechauns are from Ireland, aren't they?
They don't.
They
they're not
li-
real.
they live in Ireland, don't they? Pumpkins.
That's where the story comes from. It's like you say the chupacabra. I would say Mexico. I mean, I don't know how to think. You're biggest. Stop trying to project it on me.
I'm not
Anyways,
wearing a
what were we talking
chupacabra
about?
top telling you that this looks like you. All right, but I fucking should.
I didn't say it. Well, I mean, it kind of looks like. No, he's too skinny. Listen,
Oh, you bitch.
I think
Damn.
it doesn't look like you. It's just
Fat shaming.
listen. You're
biggest.
welcome. You're welcome. I saw something. I was like, oh, this reminds me of pumpkins, and he bitches up on me because of the Wheaties. So I'm gonna spend
Good.
his $9.
You sound like you're not taking too much weed today because you're on time. So I assume you're trying to clean up.
prepared.
What is that? Tipex? I don't know what that is.
It's a pen. It's a weed pen.
Anyway, let me say hello to some people in the chat. We got LSB, we've Deadeye Dan, we've got War Room, we've got Your Arch Enemy. Thank you for waiting, lads. Sorry about the delay. Your Arch Enemy loves the beginning. We were thinking, should we play the whole beginning, seeing as we're late? And then Jack was like, play it, bitch. They love it. So we played it all.
There you go.
Important says my questicles are sagging today, as they should be. Testes are good. Thank you, Warren, for letting me know. Chop says that's the first time I heard the opening. Funny AF. Decepticon is here. How you doing, Decepticon? He says Ireland seizes largest ever drugs haul worth over 165 million. Is that true? I wasn't paying attention to the news.
Damn.
Mrs. Jackpot is hot, says LSP. I think so too. Your arch enemy says, I love leprechaun sex. Oh no, he was trying to read the t-shirt. Chopped, I'm not going to read that out.
I was gonna say, good for you.
What category
Good
is
to
that? Important says, where's San Andreas, Zuck? We gonna pretend like we never promised that. Now, that will be a topic. Don't worry, we will get into that. The roasting of Quest is coming up soon. Space Denson, how you doing? Roy Schwartz, how are you doing? Minus smoking the weed up. Decepticon says he'll be an addict in no time. Minus says seen hotter. I doubt it. Smoke the weed up. And Germ says, what are the popular drugs in Ireland? Cocaine has really taken off recently. I'd say that's probably the most popular. Outside of weed.
Damn.
Weed is probably the most popular. But
You
then
guys got
cocaine.
the hard stuff over there.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens because it was weed, and then that's the gateway drug to the hard stuff. So now everyone's gone through the gateway drug, and now
And
they're
then it's
into the
gonna be
hard stuff.
heroin, and then it's gonna go to heroin.
Well, then, yeah, exactly. And if you go to Dublin, you'll see the heroin junkies strung out in the streets everywhere. It's an unpleasant place to go to. I'd recommend avoiding
needles
Dublin.
sticking out of their arm.
Yeah, no more Dublin.
Don't go to Dublin.
Dublin.
Your arch enemy says cocaine hard, lol. Irish meth says LSP.
Cocaine Cowboys. It's a good documentary on Netflix.
I
FYI.
bet it is. Important says congratulations on jackpot equals female dog cup. Thank you very much. I'm getting the trophy custom engraved
Were
as
you the
we
champ?
speak.
I
was
thought
the
Muzz
champ.
was a champ.
I'm the champ.
I only won 2 races. I think Pumpkins won the most, and then Chopped was right behind him though.
I won the fucking worst one.
I won the
The one
go-kart
with the
one.
little fucking.
Yeah, you won the fucking shitty
the
one,
one with
yeah.
the Mazdas.
Decepticon says the problem mushrooms all over Ireland. There is. When I went to college, there was like lads that like come on down to there was like a racetrack, a horse racing track, and the mushrooms would grow on the track. So they'd go down there at like 6 o'clock in the morning with a bag and stuff it in. Golf courses too, places like that. But I say, cocaine is just easier to get. Anyway, Chop says cocaine went out over here in the 90s. Yeah, we're finally getting cocaine over here.
30 years later.
Better late than never.
Should we jump in to the first topic? It's a bit of breaking news, actually. It is this gentleman here, you see, Jim Ryan, who is the current CEO and president of PlayStation. He is retiring in March 2024. And he has put out a little statement. I wasn't expecting this at all. Kind of came out of nowhere. I just might read out that statement real quick, if I can find it.
I haven't heard about it.
He said he didn't want to talk about this VR stuff anymore.
Sick of these fucking bitches whinging about hybrid this and hybrid that. And Jim's statement is, after 30 years, I have made the decision to retire from SIE in March 24. I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners. But I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America. I know that feeling. I will leave having been privileged to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of SIE. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredibly sensitive and supportive leader. I feel humbled at having the opportunity to lead a company delivering products that touch millions of lives. From award-winning games to the incredibly immersive technical achievements delivered with PlayStation 5. I'm immensely proud of what we have achieved and very optimistic for the future of Sony Interactive Entertainment. From my beginning in Europe, it was clear that Sony had built something truly special. Generations later, I'm still amazed by the excitement and passion of the PlayStation community. It is thanks to you that we have been able to keep innovating and delivering even greater experiences. Since '94, generations of gamers have inspired us to be better, to push the boundaries, and the results have been incredible. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. The end. Emotional scenes. Are your eyes tearing up?
Touching.
Nope.
No. What do you mean, though? What do you mean, though?
Why were they? I mean, we always complain every episode. We have like 30 minutes talking about bitching about.
Well, hold on a
Sony,
second.
so.
Now, this is the gentleman who was. He had the reins during PSVR 2. You know, he was ahead of that. He could have said no. He could have said we don't want PSVR 2. So I mean, we have to give him a bit of credit there, no?
Well,
yeah, of course.
He's the head of Sony in North America, but he's not like he doesn't run the show.
No, he's like president and CEO of PlayStation. Like worldwide, I think.
Worldwide.
Why did he quit? Because he's old, or because?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he was like he's the big boss. The reason he's saying is that because he lives in the UK and he has to do most of his work in North America, because the headquarters of PlayStation is in California, so he's like doing a lot of.
So you got one of the biggest jobs, and you can't move to America to keep your job.
Maybe he didn't want to, but look at him. Like he's kind of actually, apparently he's younger than he looks, and he kind of looks old, you know. But I don't know if he's near retirement age or not.
Maybe the job is just.
I'm sure he could retire and be just fine if he wanted to retire at this point.
But this guy's kind of like, you know how a lot of the Sony upcoming first party stuff and their big push is like live action or live service games. So I'd kind of pin him as responsible for that too. I'm not really liking the direction of that, even though one of those games would be Firewall Ultra because that's a live service game and obviously I like that game. But
yeah,
overall I don't like the way they're talking about that, you know. And we were talking about this before. He replaced Sean Layden, and before Sean Layden was Jack Tretton, and then was it Ken Kutaragi before that? I don't know.
Who knows?
Jack Trenton was the best. I miss Jack.
Moses a Jack fan. Important says there were some guttural laughs in that GT7 stream. It was a good time. Geisen is here. How you doing, Geisen? He's moist. Space Denizen says great news. So Space Denizen is not a fan of Jim Ryan, and there is a lot of that. Even though like PlayStation's at its most successful right now, like PS5s are flying off the shelves, and they're making hand over fist, record profits, etc., etc. Do you think he's leaving for like more sinister reason?
I don't know, but I think Sony's just selling well because it's Sony. I don't think it like. I think he just has a fuckload of money. He's like, do I want to work more? Because this guy, dude, don't tell me this guy doesn't work every day of his fucking life, right? As those type of people. So it's like, do I want to still keep killing myself, or do I just go and chill with my millions and just retire? I think that's what he did.
Yeah,
he doesn't look that old, but he looks old enough to like chill, especially if he's been head of Sony or whatever for years.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's loaded.
He's been with them for 30 years, but I don't know how long he's been president.
Hell, like, I mean, you're president. That means that you didn't jump from a lower position to that position. So I'm sure he's financially great, and he's like, fuck working.
Imagine the bonuses for every like millions of PS5 sold. He probably got a big bonus at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Important says, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Jim. Thanks for killing PSVR. Damn. Hold on a sec. Didn't you hear the guttural laughs yesterday in PSVR? How was it dead? Your arch enemy says Trenton was the dude in quotation marks.
Jack Trenton
always kind of gave me the impression of like a used car salesman a little bit, but like still likable, you know. But yeah, he was.
He seemed like he was out of like a sitcom, like when he's on stage at E3. He was having a good time.
He was a personality, you know.
Yeah.
So what happens next? I know they got like an interim manager stepping in. He names him in the statement like Hitoki Take whatever, some Japanese fella, I assume. But Do you think Shuhei Yoshida is going to step up? Are they going to raise him up?
They need to get a CEO to come in with the last name of like Drake or something, just like Nintendo got that Bowser.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. No, people don't talk about that enough. Doug Bowser is his name.
Doug Bowser. Need to get like Harry Drake or
fucking Nathaniel Drake. Get him in there. Or at least hiding PSVR from the public. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I suppose he would be responsible. The buck ends with him or starts with him. I don't know what the saying is.
But he's a boss. He can be like, okay, people are clearly. I just don't think. I don't know. Dude. I don't know if it's a disconnection or they just don't give a fuck. Because clearly we complain about the marketing, and blah blah blah. It feels like we're the ones, not we like me and you, but like the community is the ones that keep kind of the VR, active and the marketing and all that for the most part. So he's the boss. I'm sure he knows about this shit, or maybe he doesn't. He's just so high up that there's just so many people down the road that it doesn't get to him. I don't know, but I don't really care if he leaves or not. It doesn't, as long as we don't get somebody that makes it worse.
But that's possible.
Yeah, but how are you gonna know this guy, whoever he names, what he does? Like, we don't know nothing about none of these people unless we can do research and see their background, what kind of stuff.
But this guy that he named is like just a stopgap. He's just temporary. Yeah. But I think everyone would like to see Shuhei Yoshida because that guy was like, he's a big PSVR 2 or PSVR fan in general, and he's like,
okay, well, yeah.
He's always been pushing us and promoting us, and right now he's over like third party in indies, I think. But people are thinking, he should have been top. But yeah, that's who I'd like to see replacing there. But it could be some. Maybe Phil Spencer will drop out of Microsoft now and hop on over to Sony.
Fuck, no, I don't want that. Get away from that.
We don't need VR.
Away from
the first thing you see is a T-shirt with like the VR within, like across through it. Like, VR is dead.
Cancel. Nobody's playing this, guys.
No one wants this. What are you guys doing over here?
Your arch enemy says he was a used car salesman, but you could tell Trenton loved gaming. Really?
Yeah, he did.
Loved gaming? Like he'd actually be a player himself?
I think so.
Really? I know Shuhei is. That's what I like about Shuhei. Like, he's actually into the games himself. He platinum Bloodborne, I think. Space Denizen says, maybe we'll get someone who loves VR like Zuck. That's crazy. Because we don't... Like, he does love VR, apparently, but not in the way we want him to love VR.
What way do you want him to love VR?
I want him to be more focused on games, whereas he's more interested in business and different types of aspects. Social as well.
Metaverse. Metaverse.
Yeah,
social.
He's really ruined that word, metaverse. Like, once upon a time that was probably a cool word. People were like, cool, we could do this one day. But now anyone thinks of metaverse, they think of that picture of the Zuck avatar beside the Eiffel Tower with the rec room graphics in the background. And Jesus. Yeah. And the last thing I heard about that is like, oh, they've added legs. There's legs there now.
Yeah. I can move my own legs. Isn't that amazing? I can jump. Crazy. I can jump.
Look at Jackpot's face as we're disrespecting Mez over there. He's seething.
I don't give a fuck.
Seething over there. Steam coming out of his ears.
I'm still gonna buy one. You bitches are gonna be jealous.
Did you see how happy?
If you say no.
Did you see how happy he was when he was talking about his stickers? All those stickers that you can use in the social.
Don't AI
don't jump ahead. We're getting there. We'll get there.
All right.
No spoilers. But yeah, is there anything else to say about this breaking Jim Ryan news? Sorry.
It's too hot. It's too hot of a topic for me to
You can't hold it in. You can't hold it in anymore.
Quest 3 has stickers. Oh my goodness.
Not yet. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. We're done with the Jim Ryan. The only thing I say is I'm worried that the next person won't be into VR, The next person's the one's like, this isn't making enough money, cut it. No PSVR 3,
I mean, some cutthroat asshole that just comes in and like by the numbers, like number crunching, like this is canceled, get rid of it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see who takes over.
Making more of our properties as movies is the way to go.
Yeah, fucking. How about a trailer for Sackboy?
Yeah,
Sackboy 3D. Anyway, next topic is Firewall Ultra, and this is also kind of breaking news, and it's thanks to Johnny Lobster. I think he was the first person to put it in the Discord. So Johnny Lobster says that the Firewall patch is coming this week, and it's supposed to be a big one. So then he screenshots David Jagnot's comment over in the First Contact Entertainment Discord, where he says details on next patch coming today. So the details are coming today, and then behind that he says it's a big one. And then further down, he says, next patch is coming this week, very soon, details coming today. So even right now, maybe the details could be out there.
Damn. Are they sleeping? It's like they're just fucking porting up updates after updates, and they're getting stuff.
There is well, in fairness now, like the last week or two has kind of been maybe 1 or 2 updates. Like there was one proper update, and then there was like a hotfix thing that they did on their end, I think.
But if you look at about a lot of other games, like you wait a month or you wait, a lot of stuff to get something done. So I feel like,
well, I mean, it depends on what's in this patch. He says it's a big one, but it remains to be seen how big it's going to be. Like, what would you consider to be a big one?
DS. I don't think we're gonna get any ADS stuff yet, but maybe the nerfing the DS, maybe the crypto, a little bit more.
I hope they fix.
Look at us. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
That's too complex to fix so soon. Most give them a year. Give them 6 months.
They'll work it out sooner or later. It's tricky.
Ultra Waltz is void. Define today's is important. So they're on California time, so they're 8 hours behind me. So right now it's only like 4:30 in the PM over there. So I'd say maybe in the next hour or two, you're probably going to see a post under Twitter saying detail on what's coming in the next patch. But then when that patch comes, it's going to be up in the air. Yeah. They say sometime this week. So hopefully very soon. Maybe they've just they send it to certification with Sony, and then it's kind of out of their hands, and then they're free to talk about it or whatever.
Right. Exciting.
Yes. Oh, your arch enemy says hope they fix AFK, and Hess did say that they had that fixed already, so that's definitely got to be in there.
Yeah. Very likely.
Important says they're hiring 7 more devs to fix the toggle grip for months. It's priority. If you go to their job listings, it's all about toggle grips, experience with toggle grips.
I hope they get paid well. I hope they should get bonuses.
They deserve every cent.
They're doing God's work.
But yeah, because we don't actually know what it is, I mean, there's not really much else we can say about this other than speculate and hope. You say it's too early to fix the ADS, but do you think it really is too early to fix the ADS?
I don't know how any of this shit works, but I'm assuming. But I don't know. It might be easier than we think, but I mean, I have no idea how to make a game. I'm sure it's very fucking hard.
My issue with the manual aiming right now is that the guns just don't seem to be where they should be. Like, by default, they seem to be out of position a little bit somehow. It's most noticeable with the handgun. So that seems like it could be easy enough to fix, but so something like that would help.
Do you think you're getting used to it, or because I've noticed a handgun, still, but at the beginning when we first started playing, I felt like rifles and everything just felt a little bit sideways. But either I'm getting used to it or I don't feel it anymore. Do you guys feel it still, or what do you guys think about that?
I never thought it felt off, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Just slightly off for me. It felt like now it's fine.
It felt like different than Pavlov, just because they're different games. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe the first day was a little off-putting because I did play so much Pavlov and jumping back into Firewall. Pace different, but yeah, I didn't really have a problem after that.
I'm definitely more used to the primary weapons now, but it's like every time I go back to the pistol, then it's like, oh shit, it's still there, But I'm getting used to it. I think you gotta I'm lifting my hand higher than I normally would, like my front hand. I need to raise it higher than I would in like Pavlov or whatever to get the red dot to line up. So I think that's what it is. But
I don't use the pistol enough to really comment on that one.
Yeah. Your arch enemies.
We have a. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say if we have a date for the first, like the first season or whatever's gonna drop or whatever the fuck is gonna.
I won't be surprised if it's pushed back to deal with all these issues as well.
Yeah.
Your arch enemy says, the rifle feels like the stock is directly in my chest. It needs to go to the right more. Chop says that shit felt way off to me. And Important says they are a little sideways. If you use a stock like me, you have to put the controller all crooked to be usable. So there you go.
It's still there. I'm just probably getting used to it.
The only time it ever felt like awkward, like really awkward and like off-putting was when I even tried any of that ADS. Like that's when it like didn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
But then when I stopped using that and I was just looking down the sights, it just felt like another shooter.
Do you think is it too soon to get like removal, like eye tracking for weapon selection and stuff?
What do you mean? Like too soon to get that
Like
removed or to add?
Use a button or
I
something
don't.
instead to cycle through the options.
I don't think they'll ever. They're never going to remove the eye tracking. The best we can hope for is just give us an option to like not use eye tracking, like just to go back to regular menus.
You think it's too soon for that?
Not really. Like I don't know how much work it would be just to set up like a a regular reticle that you bring up and then move the cursor around yourself and choose your weapons. I don't think that would be too hard for them to do. Just menus.
Or just maybe the same way a menu or whatever, but we can select it with the joystick selection instead of with the eyes, because it sounds stupid, but my brain is too smooth. It takes me a while to try to do everything at the same time, so I feel like it's easier if I can, because even subconsciously when I open the weapon reel, whatever, I always use my stick and try to like click this way. And sometimes that's why I got blown up the other day, because I went like that and I assumed that I was already there and I clicked the trigger and I blew myself up. But
you sure did.
Yeah, you did. But anyways,
good times. I
think that wouldn't take that much, I think, to do, because it's just adding the selection, because I'm assuming, I don't know, it's just, okay, what do you want to do to select the movement, and they put the eye track in. I'm assuming they can just do also with the controller, but I don't know.
What if the
with the eye tracking, I always mess myself up because I always like I mistime it, because I'm always like looking away before I finish selecting my thing. So I find whenever I'm going to choose my grenade, I think I selected it and then I look to my left thing, and then when I throw it, it's the flashbang, because I look away before I release it. So like it switches over to something else before I realize, and then I throw it thinking it's a grenade, because I didn't look at it long enough.
I think this game is too fast paced for that to work as good as we wanted.
Something very solid. Yeah, you need like a button. A button press is like a.
What if What if they did it like you still bring up the weapon wheel, but instead of using your eyes, like you know how you used to aim the gun in Resident Evil 7 by like moving your head? Would that be better? Like you got a little dot and move it up. At least it's more you're okay. That's fine. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
No. I mean, why half-ass it? Let's just
because if you're using the stick, then all of a sudden you're not able to use the menu and walk at the same time.
There's just something about a button press is just very exact. Like you can't not press a button right.
Safe. It's safe.
Like, it's a safe way. Like you're on something, you press a button, it reacts to you pressing the button. It's not like timing based or anything about like looking and then looking away or anything.
Well, when right now, when you press a button to switch the gun, it switches to the knife, not the pistol, right? Or does it switch to the pistol?
Knife. If you tap the circle button, it's knife.
So maybe what they can do is tap in the circle, instead of putting the knife, it puts the pistol. And if we want the knife, either another button, or let us open the wheel, and then with our stick, let us select if we want the knife, if we want the everything. I don't know.
That's all they got to do is make it so when you hold the triangle button, it just brings up the reticle, and then you left stick or something to like move to what you want, and then press, just like any other game. Using your regular menus.
It has begun. You're beginning to cut out now. As is tradition. Your arch enemy says, remove ADS, make that button the grenade arc, so I can detonate my C4 without having to switch weapons. LSB says, first contact will no doubt fix some things, but not all of them. Yeah, well, they're definitely not going to fix everything in this patch.
That's fine.
Because it's too much. Going Fully Hectic says, hello, how you doing? Thumbs up, and he agrees. Nice to see you, Fully Hectic, and Chop is gone. Sweet dreams, Chop. He'll be there. He always says that. He watches. He always watches. But yeah, is there anything else to say about Firewall? I'm just going to check real quick now in case they've like announced.
Yeah, no, just like one thing I've noticed, and we all do this. Some do, and I do this a lot, right? And I hate this. We feel very entitled, right? To when we get games, like, oh, we need this, and we want this, and we want this, right?
Gamers entitled? Never.
Right, I know. But what I feel like, it's like, obviously, right, this is not, we all have jobs, we all have the shit, and this is like our entertainment, right? So I become like, you know, the asshole, the Karen that complains and is bitching, right? I feel like the way that we all criticize the games is not as constructive, right? Because I guarantee you that a lot of, and of course we have our issues and we can, and I think we should voice our opinions about the game and criticisms, but I feel like the majority of us, the way that we criticize it is not very fair, because then they're gonna think that the game sucks. You know what I mean? Like when actually the game is fucking great. It's just not what we wanted. Okay, we don't want it. We want manual reload. Okay, bitch, then go play Pavlov. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I feel like we're very entitled, and the way we criticize games, every game and stuff, we come out. At least myself, but I feel like everybody in a way, we come very like assholes, right? In a way. And again, it's not about people's feelings, but the Firewall team should be celebrating, because I saw in the message like, hey, it's been a hard month. Like I get it, right? They went in a different way that we didn't like, but at the end of the day, you know, I think like, yeah, the eye tracking not what we wanted, but they took a risk, right? And they took chances, which I think if anything we should be like, okay, yeah, that's not what we wanted, but you know, they took a risk of something new and a new technology. So I just feel like we're bitching too much instead of saying, okay, yeah, this we don't like this, we don't like this. What I'm saying is they should be happy, they should be celebrating, you know, snorting cocaines out of prostitutes in LA, instead of being all sad and like, oh man, these fucking assholes are not being normal. They're just being fucking Karens, saying this is sucks, fuck this. And you know, we are assholes, but there's people who actually like are very like, you know, threats and all that shit, which we're not even gonna go there. But that's one thing I want to say, because I feel like I do this a lot and I fucking hate that, because I work customer service all the time, and I don't think it's fair for the developers in general, because they probably have a wrong perspective of their game, because the game is fucking great. It just has issues that we don't like, you know.
You're right. I think they know.
I want to give that a round of applause. I think that's the most beautiful thing you've ever said, Jack.
And I think they know. Obviously, they know.
I think they know. Like, we're still playing the game. Like, and obviously, like if we didn't want to play the game, we would just be like, all right, screw this. We don't know.
Right, but it's still. It's like, okay, let me give you an example. I don't know. I'm sure you have little brothers, sisters, whatever. And I had my little brother when he was fucking like 6 years old. I did something. He like, I hate you. I hate you. Obviously, he doesn't. And I knew it was not true, but a little bit, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, you know, that actually hurt me a little bit. Like, I'm not saying it's not about people's feelings, but I know they know because we play the game. But I think it is just, we could be a little bit more productive in the way we all as a community criticize the games, because like I said, they know, but they're not mentally where, in my opinion, they should be. They should be happier. Yes, there's things that they didn't like, and we decide as developers we want to fix it or not, which they are, and I'm very happy about it. But you know, I just think the way that we come across, at least myself, which I know it's just very asshole-y, and it's not very productive. Again, I think they should be very proud of what they did, very happy. Same with Alvo and everybody, because this shit is hard, and we just come as very, very entitled. That's it. That's my rant.
Very good, Jackpot. Very good.
I was trying to get to the soundboard, but I got you full screen, so I can't. I put like, is there a round of applause there on the soundboard? Bitch. I told you make me no. I got like, the way I've got it set up is full screen, so I can't get to the soundboard. But like, don't worry, you're not full screen.
That's all I gotta say.
There was some entertainment comments coming in there while you were speaking, which was kind of making me laugh too.
The 5 stages.
Every week he goes to a new stage. I'm gonna try catch up.
When he gets really passionate, the cracks start coming out.
That was good though. No, I enjoyed this. That was good. And you make listen, I agree with you. I agree with you. You made some good points.
I agree. It's also like most people's like, at least I know for me, like my bitching about problems is because I like the game so much, and like I don't like, I have problems with other games like Pavlov and Alvo and you know, but I don't complain about them too much because I don't play them as much. So
right,
yeah,
you know,
because you know,
I just feel like in general. I always hear comments
want,
and it feels very entitled. Not for like, I just feel everybody like me, right? And I feel like you said, like obviously we all have our lives, and this is like our escape, and this is our hobby. So of course we care about it, and you know, we go loose and fucking, you know, we go along with all the shit and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you know, I just feel like, you know, like you said, they do understand, and they understand that we're just overblowing it and being assholes, and they have to dig through all the shit to find the actual comments. But I just feel like in general, I just noticed like in general, we all, the way that everybody puts comments, and I don't mean like the pumpkin people, I mean everybody.
I know.
Everybody, we kind of become that And again, it's not a big deal. I don't want to make more big deal about it, but I just say like I think it's a little fucked up. And on me personally, I'm gonna like not.
They already
fucked
fixed
up.
the main problem. The main problem I had with was the matchmaking. Like they had to fix that because that was like a real detriment.
You just couldn't play the game.
Yeah,
Right.
You couldn't play it. So like that's a major problem. That's not like a design problem. That's just
Right.
okay. I can't play with my friends. Has to be fixed, and they did fix it. Right. That's the number one problem already. Everything else is just like if you have a problem with the game design, then okay.
Right. And again, I don't think we should not complain. I think we should fucking complain and be like, hey, we want this. Because at the end of the day, they're giving us a product and we are the consumers. And if a lot of people, but I just feel like the way that we say things, it's very fucked up in the community for gaming when it comes down to developers,
Yeah.
But that's literally it. But no, fuck, you know me, dude. I'm the Karen. I'm the one that bitches the most. If anybody knows me in the office, which I highly doubt they know me. If anything, they've seen this, they fucking hate me because I'm an asshole. But I don't, I don't really, you know what I mean.
But you're not a Karen anymore. It seems you've taken off.
I am, but I'm
Karen hairstyle, and you gotta
listen. When I hang out, I've known you for like 5-6 years,
too long,
and I was not like this. And everybody's been telling me, then since you've been hanging out and playing games with that pumpkin guy, because you're a bigot and all this other stuff. Thankfully, the bigotry hasn't rubbed off on me, but I feel like the other stuff, the Karen, is just
that's rubbed. Okay. I thought you were going the other way. I thought you were improving as a person, but it's going the other way.
Fuck no.
Let me check out.
You made me go
catch
to
up
the hole
on some comments. You bitch. LSB says a lot of these things everyone wants changed were purposefully implemented as design choice. That is true, but. I mean, sometimes you have to try something else and then you let it out into the wild and you don't know if people are going to react positively to it or negatively. And in this case, at least the vocal majority have been negative with a lot of the stuff that they purposely put in there. Germ says, I have no intention of ever using the knife. Much rather have that swap to pistol, especially after I get the revive pistol. Yeah, that's a good point as well.
Yes.
Especially when you see like that last stream that we had, it takes like 3 stabs to kill somebody now. So it's just like, what? Like imagine doing that in the fight. You go up thinking you're gonna get a stealth kill and you just stab and then they just whip around and shoot you.
What was that? What was that mosquito bite? God for your legs, how you doing? Says Firewall Lobby Hour. Your arch enemy says, sorry, this game has a fan base. It's not entitled to want a similar experience from its original. But no, the game is great. It needs work though.
Again, it's not complain. I'm not saying about people don't complain. It's just saying the way.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude in your complaints. I guess.
It's not about being rude. It's just a lot of. I think we over shit on it when it doesn't have to. Again, I'm not saying don't complain. The game is perfect. No, the game has a lot of issues that we don't like. I'm just saying the way we say things. I'm not. I knew people were gonna bitch and say, but take it however you want to take it. But at least for me, I'm talking me personally. So
try to remember there's a human on the other side. That you're directing your vitriol to. Important says jackpot is high. 0 Hour is a better game. That's not cause for celebration. Decepticon says the 5 stages of grief live. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one very much.
Yeah, that was good.
Cyber Chic is here. How you doing, Cyber Chic? Welcome back. Stage 3 bargainance is important. Is jackpot saying we'll all moaning entitled brats? Is that what you're saying, jackpot? You're all moaning entitled brats?
No, I said me. I'm a bitch. I'm a Karen, and I feel like sometimes the community in general, it's a little bit overblown with the comments.
Germ says I agree, but it might be the mushrooms. Depression is next, says Decepticon. LSB says let Muzz talk, bitch. Damn. But I enjoyed it.
No, he was on a roll there. I'm not going to interrupt.
Spitting fire out there. I liked it. Decepticon says I don't even think he's breathing. I thought acceptance was next. Importance is the way people say things are a response to corporate speak and radio silence a lot of the time. I've noticed like this seems to be, well, maybe it's just because of the perspective I'm in where people are commenting on my videos, but from ever since that video we did where Hess came in and he like openly talked about stuff, people are like, oh, at least they're listening, and at least it's not silence. They're saying something. So it's like more positivity towards it now from that.
It's also kind of amplified with like the cost of getting into VR. Like when you throw down as much money as people are doing to get this like hobby, like after the money that you put down for the PlayStation 5, then suddenly like if things don't go how you want. Money that you put into. Oh man, was this a waste of money? Going like a little too far extreme to complaining about things that you don't good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like The Last of Us, right? The Last of Us 2, they got, and I haven't played that game, but I've heard the game is really good, but people that just didn't like the way that they went with the story, which don't spoil it to me.
Okay.
But yeah.
You're not gonna like it.
I like
I already know kind of what's gonna happen, but I'm still gonna play it. I heard it's good, but it's the same thing.
There was an agenda against that game.
They wanted to destroy it. But have you guys played it? Is it good? Is it a good game? Regardless
it's
of
like
the story?
one of the best, like in terms of like mechanics and all the details, and like if you shoot someone and the blood comes onto the snow and then the snow melts.
The story is not bad story. It's just not the way that you wanted the story to go.
No, I like the story. The story had me gripped the whole time.
Okay. Right. Well, that's what I mean, right? You didn't play Moz?
No, I didn't play it.
You played the first one though, right?
They were just trying to yeah. I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah, let's keep when the Last of Us gets a VR patch, then we'll get into it. All right. Until then,
The Last of Us Part 1. Yes, I'll play a VR patch. I'll play a patch of VR if it's Last of Us 2.
Cyber Chic says, I think the game is great, but we just get tired of the same issues and the time it takes to fix. That's reasonable, I think. Alt Action G, what are you doing? Welcome back and congratulations on changing your name back. Rogues 3 says matchmaking was a Sony problem. They didn't let First Contact Entertainment do a beta. My problem is game design. That's on First Contact Entertainment. Well, that's fair enough.
My problem is all of it. Game design, the eye tracking. There's a lot of issues. We talk about it every week. I mean, there's quite a bit of issues in my opinion that most of us agree. So
I thought this was going to be a brief, like 2-minute segment, and then we're moving on to the next topic.
Never,
because we got no information.
As soon as you say the word firewall, everyone's like, "Oh, here we go."
And I added this in at the last minute as well. Joshua Taylor, how you doing, Joshua? Says the tension of every match is what brings us back. There isn't anything else like us. There isn't anything else like us. On PlayStation VR, at least. Important says, yeah, but it took how long for Hess to say things like a real human being? But it sounds like, I'm sure he would have wanted to say that day one, but, he's got a muzzle on him. The Sony boys, like, they tie him up every night in the basement and they put a gag, like a sock. They take off their sock and they put it in his mouth. And he ain't allowed to
8
talk.
in the morning, they unlock the key. Go to work at the office. And we're watching you.
And he briefly got free and he was watching the stream and talking to us that time. Should have a fireside chat day one. Well, I'm sure they're like, I can't even imagine what it was like for them day one, where they're like, just like, oh shit, all these issues, nobody can matchmake, etc., etc. The Last of Us Part 2 is a great game, says Alt Action G. Rogue says ultra highlight clips don't exist because the combat in those intense situations is slowed by cumbersome and unintuitive mechanics. I mean, I think it'd be easy enough to make a highlight clip out of some of the footage, especially my Unreal shotgun abilities, which I demonstrate 5% of the time. The Last of Us VR needs to happen. If not this gen, then definitely VR 3. It has to happen this gen. There's no need to be waiting for next gen. Your enemy says, eye track grenades needs to go. The inability to throw grenades into a room without sticking my huge head in has got to go. And Important says, as a buyer of a product, Hess's muzzle should not be our problem. Well, then don't take it out on Hess if he's not able to talk. Take it out on Sony. That's what I would say. If Sony are not allowing them to talk, well, then how is it their fault?
Right. But how do we know what is Sony and what it's them? Like, okay, we know, I think, right, the eye tracking implementation heavy. It was because of First Contact, right? Not because of Sony, I'm assuming. So, what is Sony? What is him?
Well, actually, I had assumed that Sony were probably like incentivizing them, like use as much eye tracking as you can. But then when Hess was in the chat that time, he was like, "Oh, we really wanted to push that technology as much as we could." So
maybe they were very surprised. I'm assuming they were surprised, which I don't know why they were surprised, but maybe they were surprised. They expected the community to like the whole eye tracking more,
just because it's so new.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because of new. It's just, it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't. Even though this is not, clearly, it's not Alvo, it's not the fastest paced game. It's still fast enough that for me, like Maz says, it's just too hard for you to put the grenade with your eyes on time. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem to work. So regardless, I just don't.
Fair enough.
Like it.
Sheik says, I just can't throw the grenades quick, and I wish after throwing one grenade, it would also go back to gun. ADS is slow for me. Is Sony an excuse? Sony are not an excuse for those things. I'm not blaming Sony for like the way the grenades work and stuff like that, but I blame them for like not letting, even with Firewall Zero, where it was the same thing where they just wanted to say so many things, but they couldn't. They were not free to talk. And the lack of beta, yeah. So even though
how do you not let them do a beta, but every other game kind of has a beta?
Like how does Honor and D-Day have a beta?
Exactly.
And not Firewall Ultra?
Because it's not a Sony.
Exactly. Sony. But like I assumed, like, oh, it must be a very expensive thing to set up a beta. But these, like Honor and Doozy is like maybe one person. I'm not sure, and he's doing it by himself. Couple of people.
Oh, then don't publish. Then Sony can't make into the game business if you're gonna cheap out and not fucking pay for beta. One of the most popular games or your IPs for at least VR. Like it doesn't make. I don't know. We don't understand how fucking they work. So who knows?
I don't know either. It seems like it should have been an obvious thing. Your arch enemy says, I actually appreciate them trying new shit. I do, but a lot of its implementation makes the experience awkward and not conductive of actual gameplay. That's fair enough. Yeah. They knew the game wasn't finished, says War Room, obviously. Would you say it's not finished? I feel like it's finished. It's just bugs, you know? I know maybe it didn't go through enough of a polishing phase, but nothing there was like game break. Like the core of the experience is there. I think I wouldn't say it's unfinished.
Yeah, just like we're testing the game. We're the ones that are testing it.
Yeah. Germ says, I wouldn't interact at all if I was a dev. Gamers are the worst. Germ says, you get what you get when you get it. That's definitely one way of doing this as well. And some people are like that. Some devs are like, shut the fuck up and don't ask me for anything, bitch. Are we ready to go to another topic? Lads, hello?
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done. I already talked too much about it.
Okay, Jesus, all right. Cybershake before we go says, I would have preferred a delay on release if bugs are still causing so many issues. We are the testers. Maybe that makes me wonder as well. Maybe the game was already delayed. So maybe it was supposed to come out sooner. And maybe that's why they didn't have a beta test. Because maybe it was supposed to be near launch. And obviously nobody had a headset before launch to do a beta test with. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's reasons that could have happened. Your arch enemy says, no, stay on Firewall. Is not. Well, let me check one more time the Discord, just in case they've announced it. Because it is 1 o'clock. Well, 1 a.m. for me, so that's what? 5 p.m.
It says
for them?
It's live. The update's live now.
Right now.
Just gonna close it down and go jump on Firewall.
Oh shit. Well,
Stream's over.
Mr. Jackpot has become a member.
What?
You become a member.
That shit. Nah,
Too bad.
You didn't cancel in
I got
time.
the numbers. Amanda reissued it again. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackpot, for becoming a member once again. But yeah, we got no new information. To be continued in a few minutes when the new patch drops. Yeah, so if you spot that, and let us know later on in the show, and then we'll go over that.
So we keep hitting refresh. Everyone's hitting refresh on that page.
Just shows that we all love Firewall, says your arch enemy. I think we can. That's something we can all agree on. That's why we're so passionate.
Love-hate relationship.
El Pathion. All right, so I'm done with Firewall Ultra for now, but we'll put a pin in us. Let's talk about another game that I really, really cannot wait to get my hands on. Resident Evil 4. We've got some juicy news about this in the last week since we were talking last. And that is thanks to Tokyo Game Show. I'm just pulling up the Google documents. The giggles.
Looks pretty good. It
does look good. But the juiciest piece of information, I think, is not the new gameplay, because there was new 5 minutes of footage of some fella playing through the actual demo, even though it was kind of edited a little bit. Sony put out a PlayStation blog, and at the beginning of the blog is coming this winter, which we already knew, but then at the very end of the blog, I can't remember the exact words, but it's they say, look forward to Resident Evil 4 later this year. Alright. So that means it has to be December, doesn't it? Maybe November.
I told you. But I didn't
believe that. I was like, there's no way. Wow. There's no way.
Are you sure? Did you use a magnifying glass and then brackets it says fiscal? year.
No, maybe, but no.
Really small print.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was a mistake on their part, maybe.
Yeah.
But like,
Let's
look,
hope.
I think the needle leans more now towards it probably being a 2023 game. I don't understand why they didn't say winter 2023 if that's the way they're going to get people, super excited.
Because they're not 100% sure of the date. They don't want to say winter.
But then why did they say 2023 in the blog post?
This year. This year.
This year, sorry. Yeah, they said this year.
Just relax. That'll be December. Christmas time. Save your money, everybody. I told you last stream.
No, buy it now.
I already bought the game.
It's on sale.
I already bought it. It was on sale.
Actually, today is the last day of the sale, so buy it now if you can. It's like 43% off. So buy it now.
No wait.
Can we shit on Zuck now? Zuck is the next topic. All right, after Resident Evil 4 is the Zuck. Your arch enemy says, "Love the Zuck show, the toast, the roast of Zuck." Loved Resident Evil 7, scary as fuck. This one looks more action-packed. Never played... The stupid love heart is in my way. Never played it, but I bought it on sale in anticipation. Me too.
I never played it either, man. I never played Resident Evil 4.
Not even the original?
Nope. Never played it. I think like my friend had it, so like I kept seeing like a little bit here and there when I was at his place, but I never actually bought it. I was gonna buy it, but because I was watching him play it, figured I kind of already saw the game. I'm not gonna buy it anymore, but I can't even really remember the parts that I saw him play anymore. So
that shit was iconic.
A brand new game for me.
Iconic.
Yeah.
That original on PS2, well, GameCube or whatever, but I played it on PS2, and just all this footage and stuff has got me playing Resident Evil Village again. Just in anticipation. I can't. I'm itching for it, Cyber Sheik says, I put Resident Evil 8 on this morning, poop myself at the moving crow, snapped headset off and said nope, not when I'm home alone. Damn, the crow, that's like the first 15 minutes of the game. Yeah, and that crow hanging in the tree.
Imagine what she would do in the hallway.
Jesus, yeah.
You would you might have a heart attack if you did that with the crow.
Did you play Resident Evil 7? Important says the love heart was designed by First Contact Entertainment. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. But yeah, is there anything else to say about this? Did you watch like the full footage, the TGS demo that guy played through? No,
I don't like spoilers. I know it's good. It's gonna be good. Doesn't matter.
They go into the parry. Like the parry stuff looks really good. Your knife has to match the trajectory of what they're doing, so it's not just you stick up your hand and block. It's like you actually have to parry correctly. I hope, at least that's what they're describing in the blog post.
That sounds good.
Graphics look good too.
Yeah, man, the graphics look really fucking good. This is like AAA. We need more of these.
Well, you already played this game, so is this more action?
It's definitely. No, I don't think it. I think it's less action. Resident Evil 8.
The 8 is less action.
Resident Evil 4 is the most action.
But you haven't played this one, Mons. How do you know?
Because I've seen it. Like I've seen videos. It looks well. Yeah, looks pretty action. Never mind.
No, this is
that's what I'm saying. It's just all fucking machine.
Resident Evil 4 is like way more action packed than any of the other ones. Well, after 5 and 6 got ridiculous, but 4 was the beginning of it getting really actiony. There was never a problem with ammo and stuff. Now I didn't play the remake, so I don't know if they've like changed that so it's more spooky and creepy and like less shooting or whatever. But just the fact that you can parry and stuff like that is like way more of a focus on combat.
Was it Resident Evil 6? I think is the one where they went to like Michael Bay level of
that was ridiculous.
Like action.
Fucking, you're in China, airplanes crashing into the streets, and all quick time events every 2 seconds. Although
Chris looks like he's like roided out of his mind, like his shoulders.
Well, 5 was the first time you saw a muscly and he was like punching the boulder. Did you remember that? Like fucking, you gotta mash X to punch the boulder, and he splits it in half. Ridiculous. There was one interesting thing as well. They showed off. So in this game, you do like if you damage someone in the leg or the head, you have the option to do a melee attack. So what they do is when you press the button, the camera zooms out. You're not in first person anymore. It's kind of like in Firewall when you're downed. You get that third person view, and then you see Leon do like a spinny kick to the head or whatever, and then you get sucked right back into his eyeballs. What do you think of that?
Fine.
That doesn't bother you? Would you prefer if it stayed in first person and like just like a foot would pop up and then kick someone?
I don't know how it looked, but I would have preferred if it's in VR. But If it's just that one thing, I don't know.
But that's something you'll do a lot, though. You could do like you'll be doing suplexes and all kinds of crazy shit into zombies.
Damn.
Yeah.
I want to play this now, but I really want to play it now.
I don't know how they could have designed like a roundhouse kick where you stay in VR. I don't know if that.
Well, I was just thinking like, what if they just like got a leg to pop up and kind of like you just saw, and the spin didn't happen, no spin, you know?
No.
Or maybe just like a stomping
like
attack.
The Zohan.
You know? Like the Zohan, yeah. I saw that in the trailer. I never actually watched that movie.
Good on the fucking.
You love that movie. You're always talking about that movie. It's crazy.
Because it's good.
I need to watch it then. I need to watch it. It's crazy. It's like always on your mind, that one.
It's fucking
Adam
good.
Sandler.
Right? It's one of the only movies that is good for him.
But man, the guns in this game are fucking.
What? Happy Gilmore is the best movie.
Happy Gilmore was one of the best.
Waterboy.
Yeah, the guns look cool. I like the dual wielding with the fucking like.
The two revolvers, yeah.
Running them around, yeah, looks cool.
But yeah, it's got like the Red 9, Killer 7, all these guns. I can't wait to. Because
how long is the campaign ish? You know.
I think they said it was comparable to the original, but I never like I've avoided this because I want to wait for the viewer mode, so I don't actually know how long it actually is. And they also put out DLC that's not going to. Oh, maybe. I think the original was like between 15 and 20, maybe would it have been. It was a lengthy one, like way longer than Resident Evil 2 and 3. I'd say it's a lot longer than Village as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think someone said it was like 20 hours. Like you can play the game in 20 hours, which is like really long for a horror game.
Especially in VR. It's going to be the longest VR horror game.
Yeah, well, most VR games don't go that long because it's like you can't like hold like the tension. You can't hold that kind of tension and suspense for that long. Usually like 8 to 10 hours is usually a horror game runtime.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Important. I saw that already. Your arch enemy says Resident Evil 8 wasn't that scary, to be honest. It wasn't, but that second area, we'll call it, I think that was as scary as it got. But Resident Evil 8 was kind of taking notes from Resident Evil 4. That's why it was kind of more action-y as well. Cyber Chic says none PSVR Resident Evil games were never that scary. I don't understand what you mean. Resident Evil 7 was creepy as fuck, says your arch enemy. I think the first hour of that was very scary, and then once you got the guns and stuff, it was just kind of more fun. Maybe a few other points got scary then as well, but overall, it was just a good time. Cyber Chic, I can't continue, like I have no consistency saying that name. Cyber Chic says, which was the 3D Resi game? Was that for? The 3D Resi game? What do you mean? The first 3D Resi game? Where it wasn't like the static backgrounds? That was Resident Evil 4, yeah. Yeah,
that was the first time I was behind the back.
Oh wait, no, Code Veronica. Did they not do that? No, you're right. It was.
No, Resident Evil 4 was the first one that broke the mold for the camera.
Your arch enemy. Oh, Decepticon says Resident Evil 2 in VR is so good. I really hope they do that next. Because if they got Resident Evil 4 working in VR, then come on. I think they're probably just waiting for Sony to.
They're gonna do all of them. They're gonna do all of them.
Graphically, it looks like a step up from Resident Evil 8. Like especially like with the scenes, like with the mist and stuff, like the. I hope it translates. I hope it translates like what you're seeing on the screen. I hope it looks just like that in VR. I hope it doesn't like change at all, but I don't think it will. I think it's going to be exactly what you look like here.
One of my favorite things about it as well, compared to Village and 7, like Village and 7, when you're shooting enemies and stuff, they kind of felt like the bullets did nothing to them sometimes, and they had like canned animations all the time, so they didn't always die the same way. Whereas this has got like that damage system where you're ripping off skin and you're fucking, every time they get hit, they react realistically, they stumble back, and then when they're dead, they do like a ragdoll on the ground, like, you know, which I enjoy a lot.
The fact, I really like the fact that they, like every bullet looks like it's impacting them, so it's not like they're just running at you, shooting like 3 times, and then the 4th bullet will make them, and then, I
fucking hate that. Like and then their bodies immediately like turn to dust or whatever, and
or they all do the same like healing over effect. Like, I'm dead.
Or crystals or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Cyber Chic says, I really love the Resi films, but I still feel the games are better. Man,
absolutely.
There's very few Resident Evil films I think I like the first Resident Evil film. I thought was good.
The first one, then they all
went to shit out of that.
Super Fast and Furious type shit.
Yeah. Most just call me Chick Law. But my problem with that was like they brought the character, like Jill Valentine, they brought her in, and then it's like she was there for one film and they killed her off, and you had to follow this Alice character. I was like, why can't they just make Alice Jill from the beginning? You know, I don't know why they do these things.
Yeah.
Important says he's being the biggest, making fun of my accent. Tsuki says Alice ruined all the films. There you go. Tsuki's in agreement with me. This Alice character. Nonsense. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 this year. If it happens, if it's true, if that blog post is correct. I still have I think I want to play it safe. And I'm still going to say February. Just to play it safe, because I don't want my heart to be broken, you know.
Christmas.
Not cool. Christmas Day? 25th of December?
Christmas,
I don't know about it, but anybody who has a PSVR 2 in this game, Christmas Day, you guys are going to be playing it if you want to.
Yeah. They need to be fucking bundled. There needs to be a PSVR 2 bundle with Resident Evil 4 before Christmas, if it is coming out by that time.
Exactly.
I don't think they'll bundle it.
That's how you advertise
They
it.
have to bundle it. They have to have that
But
picture of Leon
but they
on the
don't
side.
do anything that we think it's smart.
I know. I'm just saying.
Still be nice.
Obviously.
Do a bundle,
They're
that shit
idiots,
will sell.
But they need to. Alice was the director's wife, so he forced her on us. But he could have just made... Why couldn't he make that person, the actor, Jill? Why did it have to be a new person? Why couldn't it have just been Jill?
Just, they always have to put their spin on the story. They just can't leave it alone because.
Actually, Donnie's here. He's changed his name to Zero again.
What?
But I did watch that as well. The last Resident Evil show on Netflix was great. It was like Death Island or something, but it was CG. It felt like just watching a game, like the story of one of the games that never happened. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was better than most of the movies.
You know how long it's going to take for me to remember that your name is Zero now, Donnie? It's going to take weeks.
It's never going to change. It's like Lone Wolf. There's no Lone Wolf. It's Tsuki.
Just change your name back. Give it up. Your arch enemy says the Resident Evil movies were bad, let's be honest. And Tsuki says, and Alice was overpowered and trivialized the horror in the survival horror. But in fairness, the games did that too. They all went super action-packed, so I can't blame the movies for doing that too. LSB says Silent Hill movies was greater than Resident Evil movies. Only the first one was good.
First one was good.
How many have there been? There's at least 2.
There's 2 as far as I know.
Yeah. So the second one was absolute shit. Donnie is name fluid, so it's important. Damn, Donnie and Tsuki, name fluid. Are we ready to get on to Zuck?
Let the Zuck show begin.
Let it begin as right. Even though, listen, this is I'm hoping Jackpot will step up here because he's the big quest boy. He's got them reptiles, scales under his skin. His eyelids blink the other way. What did you think of this Meta Connect thing that happened today? And you learned all about the Quest 3 and whatnot.
They didn't show much. I mean, they did talk about the Quest 3. They talk about the... the mixed reality and all the type of stuff. Honestly, there's some stuff in there that is cool, but I think I was talking about this with LSB and Decepticon. I think the AR stuff is just too early for it to be really fucking awesome. I'm sure there's gonna be some cool experiences. And there's Demio. Remember that game? I've heard that if you have a Quest Pro, people do the mixed reality. That's pretty fucking cool, right? Those kind of experiences, but. What I would like is, and we talk about this, I think, a literally phasmophobia type game, because this thing, apparently it tracks your house and it knows if there's a wall in there, there's a game that you can cover, you can use your wall as cover. It recognizes that. So I think it'll be cool in the future if the devs do a game kind of like Phasmophobia, but using your own room or your own house. And it doesn't have to be amazing graphics, because the graphics need to be the ghost or whatever the fuck happens. And dude, we were playing a game, I forgot what it was, and I know I get scared very easily, but there was just things that it was jump scares, and there was cartoon ghosts made of cardboard, but it still scared the shit out of me, right? So I think that will be cool. Other than that, I don't know. I was talking about months with this. I think they're gonna do another show tomorrow that is gonna show more games. But yeah, it was just like you say, stickers, a lot of AI stuff. They show the Ray-Ban.
Hold on, tell me more about these stickers.
AI.
Yeah, get to the juicy part. Get to the real juicy part.
Fine. The best part, the AI stickers, right? that you can apparently make stickers, and you can
There
just put
there
on
are so many stickers, guys.
Damn, you just
So
prompt
many
them. You
stickers.
text prompt them like they create a generates a sticker on the
Chat
fly.
GTP.
Damn, that's
You put
actually
whatever
cool.
you want.
It's actually
It's
cool.
cool. That's what we're talking about.
But it's shit.
It's the best thing.
It's shit, but it's cool. You know.
It's shit, but it's cool. So yeah, AI that, and then also you can use AI on the Quest, I believe, and like on those glasses as well. You can use. They're doing a lot of AI, stuff like ChatGTP, a lot of AI with images, pictures. They're doing something, in my opinion, very fucking creepy and weird. They're doing AI. They're training AIs for different things. Like there's this AI that is gonna help you with specifically video games, right? And so happened that it's fucking Snoop Dogg, the just a video of him, whatever the fuck. And then it's like ChatGPT, right? And you have a question about video games specifically, you go to that dude, and then you ask him a question, and he knows everything about video games, right? And then you want something about fucking kitchen stuff, you go with some other dude, and they hiring celebrities to be the faces of those AI.
Damn.
And they
Snoop
have the
Dogg will
name.
do anything. That guy will do anything.
Well, he's loaded with money.
Bit of money anywhere he'll go.
A bit of money. That dude, they probably paid him fucking everything. But yeah, they did some stuff. Honestly, it's cool, but it's not gaming stuff is what we care about the most. So, and they didn't show much of that. I think they show, what's it called? Aska's Wrath or whatever the fuck. And Assassin's Creed. Which they both look pretty cool. But again, it's nothing like.
But nothing was anything new announced.
No, that's the only two games they showed.
And they showed it was like.
No, there was a Lego game. Wasn't there a Lego game?
That was part of the AI thing, I think.
It's part of the AI, but like
the AR. That was part of the AR, yeah.
But isn't it like? Is there? I felt like there was a big push towards MR. Like they were calling us MR, even though we'd say AR. But you know that, like,
mixed reality. Yeah, they show.
How do you feel about that?
Like reality.
Because I feel like that's like you mentioned a cool situation like phasmophobia in your house, and it would be cool like. Right. If you go to a real abandoned asylum or something like that and play it there, that would be sick. But
they had one cool thing with the Stranger Things where they had like this portal like that appeared on like the wall, and you could see through like to the upside down. So you could like the portal was there and you could actually see.
But do you? Yeah. Am I the only one that feels like mixed reality is like way more gimmicky than?
Useful? Like Jackpot said, it was like really early stages of this stuff. So I mean, it's got to get something. It's actually like. You can do something with it.
Right, but for what I'm not gonna say, like when I saw those like Stranger Things and the other ones like bigger, not just indie stuff like that, like Lego or whatever, it actually I was more surprised. I thought we were earlier than that, so that gives me even more hope that we can do it quicker. And again, we're looking at it on a video screen, just like the same. Oh yeah, sure, VR. But once you're in there, it really changes. So I think once we're in there, and I guess if I try it, but I think it's gonna be way better than it looks, even though it might be slightly gimmicky. I don't think it's like cardboard VR gimmicky. I think it's still nice, but not where I think it's really gonna, get like that. Where we're talking about really fucking cool experiences. But even like I said, the Stranger Things type, it really surprised me because I didn't thought we were that far off on the mixed reality type stuff.
It has its cool features. It's just not something that I'm like super into yet. I mean, like maybe it will change my mind in the future, but it has some cool stuff that you can do.
What?
Like doing the tabletop board games, and you can like have someone halfway across the game with you, like table. It's really cool looking setup and everything like. There's that kind of stuff. I'm just more of just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Can you tell me what Grand Theft Auto San Andreas looks like, Jackpot? Surely that was shown.
It's not gonna look. It's not gonna look.
I think it was MIA.
What you mean? What they didn't? What you mean? What kind of a trailer did they show off today, Jackpot?
I told you already that tomorrow they're gonna show more games.
No, you had to show that today. Today was the big thing. If they had it, it would have showed.
You don't understand. No. There's different. They're gonna do a show today, another show tomorrow. If you go to the Meta website, you're gonna see what they have planned, their schedule. Tomorrow they're gonna have specifically about. One section in the morning about games, apps, all that type of stuff.
You sure it's not just going to be like a deep dive into the games that they already showed off the day before?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so, because why the fuck would they show 2 games? They're not Sony.
Apparently they are. I was hearing people saying that they made the States of Play look good. They made Sony look
because
good.
Because this wasn't the full show. If they would have the full show, it'd have been like fucking 5 hours. Because tomorrow, I'm telling you, they're gonna show more stuff.
All right.
I'm not saying you're gonna be amazed.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We will see. You're writing some checks here, Jackpot. We'll see if you can cash them.
Until we see, we have nothing to be excited about.
I don't care. Fuck. Even though you guys are excited, I'm not gonna buy it, so I don't care. I'm gonna buy it.
Important says Zuck won't stop until all virtual reality looks like Dora the Explorer.
Yes. It's like Rec Room, dude. The fucking Horizon.
Although the Assassin's Creed game looks good, though, doesn't it? Like, it's not too cartoony.
No, it looks good.
All right.
No, I think you mean because of the Horizon. You know, the Horizon worlds. It looks like Rec Room. They're trying to do Rec Room, I think.
People that played the Assassin's Creed game say it's like really, really good.
LSB says this was about the hardware today. ... But then why did they even mention Assassin's Creed and Asgard's Wrath at all? Make sure they save all of it for tomorrow if that's what it's going to be. Why tease a couple of them?
Because they have so much coming down the line that they gotta just.
I think it's copium. You know, your arch enemy says.
Because it.
Go on.
I say because it was not really focused about the. They were just kind of like in general about talking about the Quest, what it can do, which is they're focusing on the AR or mixed reality stuff, and they show a little bit, but they focused on the other stuff too. Like even with the headset, what can you do with AI included on the headset and more of your daily life stuff instead of just gaming? So that's why I think tomorrow. And again, they're probably not gonna show much, but I don't think they're gonna show San Andreas yet.
You don't think so?
Ever.
I don't think yet. No, but listen. If they're gonna do something about it, they should show it tomorrow, or they should release it with the Quest 3 or close to. They're not gonna release it with the Quest 3 because it comes out in like 3 weeks.
So, yeah, that's coming out way sooner than I expected. Like, did everyone know it was coming out in October?
There was a leak. There was a leak that people were saying October 10th, and it turned out to be true.
Okay.
And what about the price? $4.99. What do you guys think about that price?
It's fine.
Decent for what it is, but like realistically speaking, are you going to go for that one, or are you going to go for the one that has the extra gigabits?
The one, because the way that I see it is like, why do you have 20 games installed? Are you gonna play those 20 games all the time? Like, no, I have internet. I'll just delete whatever I don't need.
Yeah, but if these games are getting, like, I imagine that Assassin's Creed game, for example, is probably hefty.
I don't think. Well, and if they do this, it's gonna fucking suck. But I don't think that the games are gonna be that beefy that maybe like only 2 games will fit. And if that's the case, then that'll fucking suck.
Isn't it already on Quest 2? Like Medal of Honor game is like 20 gigs or something ridiculous like that. Like,
but I heard that shit was like not optimized and whatever not. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna get the smaller version. I just don't. I prefer to deal with that than having to pay. I think it's like $150 more for the more memory. That's too much for me. I'll deal with the having to delete shit. Because again, me personally, I don't play a lot of games. The ones that I have installed on the Quest, you know, it's like Breachers and used to be Population 1. But I just kind of go like that. So for me, not that big of a deal. Not for some people, yes. But for me, no.
Okay. And by the way, somebody came into the chat when we were streaming last day talking about Population 1 coming to PSVR 2 next year, and I didn't see that anywhere. So I don't know what kind of bullshit that is.
I don't know about that.
I think it was Ace Diaz. Ace Diaz coming in here spreading his filthy lies. Germ says,
he probably read it off someone's blog post or something, and
maybe
figured it was
like just a comment underneath the blog post somewhere.
Yeah.
Germ says, why have one AI when you can have dozens that collectively do the same thing? Collect them like Pokemon. Decepticon says, hype trash. Germ says, they did a ton of mixed reality during the show, very little VR. Decepticon says, in like 2 to 3 years, AI, AR, VR combo will be nuts. Your arch enemy says, I want AI like the mods in Skyrim where the NPCs can actually have conversations. Goodbye, family. I love my new companion. Once a game is built around that chat GPT, speech and shit, like that's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
That would be
I think it's going to happen soon. Everything is just like every 6 months, I feel like we fucking accelerate the AI talk and the AI implementation into things.
Wasn't there a big update to ChatGPT today now where you can like give it pictures and stuff and it'll look at what your pictures in and let's say you got a toolbox and it's like, oh, which tool do I need for this job? And it'll like, oh, the tool you have over here in the corner, that's the one you need to use, and it's like crazy.
Well, that's what they show about the Quest. Like or I think it was a Quest. The AI that they have working, they show like a faucet that was leaking, and it says, "How do I fix this?" or whatever, and it recognizes the picture and it tells you. So some shit like that is what I understood that they're doing with the AI, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Alt Action G, thanks for stopping by. Important says it's all cartoony. Where do you go? Let's scroll down. It's all cartoony trash. Viewers best with realistic graphics, in my opinion. Listen, it can work. It can work with cartoony styles as well. It's just the problem with the Quest is they're kind of, because it's the power levels that it has, they're kind of forced to use the less detailed, less graphical fidelity option, which is often the cartoony looking stuff, you know.
Yeah.
LSB says mixed reality on Quest is going to be the shit. Decepticon says you can record LiDAR with the headset, I'm pretty sure as well. What's LiDAR?
I think it's when you can scan items and like make them 3D and shit.
That's cool. Demio and mixed reality is going to be rad as fuck, says LSB. And Decepticon says dim pancake lenses. I've heard a lot of praise about these pancake lenses. Apparently they're super clear and they got like a massive sweet spot as well. So that's going to be one advantage.
And it really makes it better. Like makes the thing look better and whatever not.
All right.
And yeah, slimmer, lighter.
Cyber Chic says always tomorrow. Always a day away. These lies. Always tomorrow. Wait for another day when tomorrow comes. Wait for the day after that when tomorrow comes.
Just string them along. String them along forever.
Donnie says AR and mixed reality aren't great for gaming, but has unique options for a specific type of games. Where it shines is in the business aspect as well as education. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
See, it's, with the whole mixed reality and like turning like your walls and stuff into the game, I don't want to do that personally at my house, but like I have heard of cool cases. There are companies that have like VR experiences that people can go to, and they have like buildings done up to play in VR with AR mixed. So like it'll map out the whole room and everything as like the objects that you see. Like so in their headset they're seeing like a wall, a really fancy wall, walking there, and then they do all these really cool things like blend your reality to, if you're doing like a medieval swords and dungeon, you walk by like a torch that's on the wall and you see like the fire in your, and in the where the torch is, they would have like a heater, like a heater that's like actually dispensing like heat. So when you walk by you feel the heat from the torch, and then they'll have parts where you might go into like a portal and suddenly like snow area, and they'll have like vents that shoot cold air down on you as soon as you. So like they have like all these match what you're seeing in the headset. So that's kind of.
We're definitely getting about 50% of everything you're saying there, Muzz.
Of course.
But yeah,
I think we got the gist. You know, I think I understand most of what you're saying.
Something about your heater broke. And
yeah, you got a fancy wall. You've got a fancy wall, and the cold air is blowing on you.
No, yeah, I've seen those experiences.
You got the gist of it then. Yeah, my place is breaking down. Yeah, exactly. Damn, heater. Yeah, but you got the idea. Like they have things set up to like mimic what you're seeing. For
that sounds smart.
Yeah.
Decepticon says it'll be nothing huge. Tiny graphic boost, 8 gigabits of RAM, double the power. Textures will be better. Stuff will have shadows, less pop-ins.
Yeah, it's not gonna be nothing much of an upgrade, I think.
No, but still.
Like, I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, still worth buying in my opinion.
Will you not just wait another year and then the rumors will start about Quest 4?
Yeah, for what? Because you could have said the same thing about Quest 2. You know, I'm glad about the Quest 2.
Should have. Yeah. Dead-Eye Dan says Gamertag said there was a big difference in Quest 3 and Quest 2.
Okay.
Cyber Chic says my AI vacuums my floors and the other cuts my grass. Damn. You got them Roomba things, and I want one of them garden ones. Cuts the lawns. Decepticon says it'll be worth the upgrade. Asgard's Wrath 2 says LSB, free game with the system as a pack-in, only if you buy it up until January, I think it is. So once January comes, you don't get that for free anymore.
They did the same thing for the first game. Actually, I have the first game. If you buy a Quest, you get it on the Oculus, even though you couldn't play it on the Oculus. But if you had PC, you could. So I think they're doing the same thing now. Now that I remember.
Can you take down that picture of Zux on the screen? It's creeping me out, man.
He's not gone until we're finished the topic.
Fucking alien.
Tasuki says, I don't use Quest for Quest games. Lol. Decepticon says, DALI 3 with GPT. DALI gens good shit. Your arch enemy says, DALI is one of them AI generator things. Your arch enemy says, we are witnessing the end of the need of anyone with AI. Good and bad, it's going to get weird soon. Decepticon says,
Terminator.
Hopefully. Space Pirates Arena will probably look really good on Quest 3. I think that you could set up Space Pirates as one of those kind of games where you use real life, like walls and stuff.
But who the fuck has, because that one's a multiplayer game, who the fuck has that big of a space, a square, that you can put 2 people in there? That's what Muzz is. That's why these experiences are. Like, you have to go to a place, because it will be sick, but like nobody has that space. That's why I think they're betting the Quest 3 into more of like, let's say you want to play the boxing game or the rhythm game, whatever, workout, right? It's just now the things come at you in your house instead of, whatever fucking lobby you have in virtual reality. I think they're going more for that. But like Muzz says, in the future, it'll be cool if we have more of that, because that
they could do. Sorry.
No. I was gonna say that'll be cool.
They could they can do cool stuff like you can watch like TV and like have like a in your house you have like a big with your, and it's not like you're in the VR headset looking at it. So it's more like you actually have the TV.
Yeah.
And then they could also do cool things where like you're watching a movie, and then they could have it like designed. Cool shit happens in your house to go and coincide with what you're watching on.
Right.
Like the Stranger
Shut
Things.
The fuck up, Jackpot.
What?
He can't hear a word you're saying. He's just going, yeah.
Of course I can hear.
Oh, no.
I heard. He said, and I agree with him. And I was gonna tell him that they do have that. They know I understand Muzz. They have that Muzz. They have you're basically anywhere, and you can have a giant screen, and you can watch anything from your computer, stream it, Netflix, literally anything you want to. You can make the screen bigger. So it's like if you have a screen in whatever it is that you're sitting, and they also have, it maps your house, right? And it knows, like, you can add, and I think they're eventually going to do is you can add items. Like, let's say you have a wall and you want to add all art, right? Or just fucking some video or anything. You can literally place it on your house, and the headset is going to remember that. So if you're watching a movie, like you said, or if you're watching something, it'll be cool if they add stuff, but you can add them personally, right? Like different things or just all over your house. So they are already implementing that, but they don't have it as much as like you're saying. But it's kind of like, that's why I want big screen to come to the PlayStation VR 2, because it's cool. It's just like literally wherever you are now, it creates a virtual room, but you can put movie theater. There's different types of them, and it's awesome because you watch a football game, UFC, whatever you want, and you can invite people over and have other friends in VR there. Dude, big screen is one of the coolest applications, and it sucks that we don't have it. But yeah, this is gonna be similar. I think you can invite people over too.
I think the version of big screen in the Quest, I think that seems better to me than like watching a big screen with like the VR headset. That's just seeing like the guy sitting in his house and he sees a big screen TV like all, and then you could also do like the mixes. Am I cutting out, by the way, or can you hear?
Not really. Not yet.
I got you there. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so say you're watching like a Christmas movie, and then at a point in the movie, it starts snowing like in your house while you're watching the movie. Like that kind of cool interaction would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like they could program it. They could program it to do that.
Or like it'll be cool if, because like there's a lot of technology that like, okay, now we give the developers the technology so they can use whatever we invented. They can do that much, but like, okay, if you watch the movie and regular TV, fine. But if you watch it on the Quest or whatever the thing is, then the movie, it's interactable. Like, sometimes the fucking monster, instead of appearing from there, it's gonna appear in your fucking house to the side, or I don't know what, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like that shit that you're talking about, I think it'll be cool if they implement it on all the movies and stuff.
What if you were watching like a porn and there was like a squirting scene going on, and then they had like the spray coming off the TV and it would run down your face like a blurry water effect coming down.
Close your eyes, open your mouth.
I mean, you gotta start thinking. You gotta start using your heads.
Quest 3's about to start raking in the money now when you start talking.
I might buy one of
those. Tell him to make you the marketing manager for MetaQuest.
LSP says, could you not find a less creeping photos? Look, no. Sorry, Mo's go on.
Once you start connecting and get to the porn, that's where the money starts taking off. Don't you know that that's why VHS won the cassette wars back in the days? Because that's the platform that porn decided to team up with.
Damn, I
VHS
didn't know that. Is that true?
Damn, Muzz. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into the porn history, but apparently
that's 100% true.
Muzz. He's after presenting it to me as facts.
I know that's something. That's an interesting fact.
Back when VHS was in contest with the other whatever the other one was called, Betamax or no.
I remember.
Shit. So that's
the other one that was in competition. Yeah, it's a smaller cassette case. Yeah.
That's how you win the war.
They were neck and neck, and as soon as the porn industry decided to start using the VHS, suddenly they're running away with it.
It's like the Blu-ray and Ultra HDs, or what the fuck would you call the other ones?
HD DVDs that Xbox went for.
Yeah,
I remember they both went for different ones.
The Blu-ray, yeah.
I wonder if porn had to do with that too.
No,
maybe I don't know.
I think porn was already on DVDs and stuff.
I know.
Speaking of which, why did Blu-ray never take over? Well, it's probably completely irrelevant, but it's like DVDs are still around, which is weird to me.
Blu-ray didn't take over because streaming became a thing, and people now just stream this shit. Back in the day, we go to Blockbuster. Well, I don't know what the fuck you guys are in Ireland, but you rented the movies physically. Now it's just everything is digitally. So I feel like the people that have the movies are people that buy and want to collect them.
I mean, like, why did they never replace DVDs? Like, even today, like when a movie comes out, it's still on DVD in 2023. DVD's been around for so long.
Because Blu-rays are fucking expensive, and
there's also millions and millions of people that still don't actually have Blu-ray.
Yep,
crazy.
Yeah.
Germ says, I want that Viarho. What? I don't know how to say that. Aero, that just got its price cut in half. Still 1,000 without controllers or stations though. So that's like a super fancy headset. Tsuki said he is learning the longer he is here. Come on, Muzz, all the cursing, referencing all the cuts he's been making. LSP says, lol, when Muzz cuts out, it's like he's cussing and getting bleeped. Decepticon says you can set up.
Maybe I am.
You can set up AR screens anywhere and have them play GIFs or movies. Is that what you want? You want like a little GIF playing in? Like, I don't know if I want to just like wear a headset to see a GIF playing on my wall.
No.
GIF. Your arch enemy says you're watching a movie and the main character blows and then you get cut off. That was entertaining. Decepticon says horror movies where shadows move across the walls and you can hear shit.
Yeah.
Donnie says you need an OWO haptics shirt for that, says Donnie. Sex dolls and VR, says Cyber Chic. That's the future as well. They're getting pretty realistic with them like talking AI dolls with like the mouth movement and stuff. So who knows? I wouldn't trust putting anything in there though.
They collect your fucking seed and fucking clone it and send it to the government.
No, I meant more like a fucking gears and cogs, like rip it to shreds or something. The month.
Of course, they wouldn't fucking do that.
What happens if the robot
Let me just make a hole and put knives in there. What? Like,
the robot takeover starts exactly when you're doing that, and it switches the program.
Right. Just chops your dick off.
Slice right off.
Get circumcised. Get circumcised.
I'm just killing everybody.
Your arch enemy says like no one here has checked out viewer porn. Okay. I attempted it once because there was like this thing you could download. It's like, oh, try this on, the media player on the PS4. And it was like, I met the woman just like a giant thing. And I was like, no, I'm not enjoying this. Get me out of here.
Sure. Every time you say a story,
just
and you're
looked
like,
awful.
"Oh, I want to try once, and I didn't." Sure. AKA,
I
I watch
literally
it all
only
day,
did
every
try
day.
it once.
It's my thing.
I only tried it once. Okay, I'm traditional, flat
Well,
screen
you're
all the
missing
way,
out,
baby.
buddy.
Until they get that squirting feature in on the Quest 3, then I'm going back.
With the 40 with spraying little Schmitz
Set up
spray.
some water guns to wriggle.
No, it has to be thick.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Suki says Blu-rays are cheap as hell. We got DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K all at the same time. So why is so why DVDs still
because people don't. Not everybody has a 4K TV. A lot of people that are not into like the technology and this, they're like, I don't give a fuck. I have my TV.
But everyone has a
Walmart
HD.
and
Everyone has a HD TV. Then you can
But
do
HD
Blu-ray
TV
just
is
HD.
not. Yes, but why would I spend my money? It's like, why would I spend my money in a PS5 when I have a 1080 old school fucking 60 hertz TV, right? Of course, it's gonna look better, but the whole point is to have a 4K, and the more bells and whistles, the more you're gonna take advantage of your system. So I feel like for people, it's like, why am I gonna spend money on a Blu-ray DVD? Because why would you spend money on a Blu-ray DVD? Because you want to look better, right? And that way you have to spend also a 4K TV. So I feel like in general, people don't give a fuck about
people
the 4K,
have done. Like people moved away from VHS, they went to DVDs. Like, why did they do that?
But fuck, man. But fuck, DVD and VHS is a whole different game. Not just looks. You can't remember when you rented I remember when you rented the VHSs. You're like, this motherfucker didn't rewind the tape before we turned the Blockbuster.
Were you like 5 when you were doing this? Or?
No, I was like 45.
In the womb. He
Listen,
looked up videos on YouTube.
Listen, I remember that. I remember everything. It sucked. I hate it. I was like, these motherfuckers need to rewind.
But listen, DVDs
shit.
are so delicate, the scratches that fuck them up. But whereas Blu-rays are way more resistant to scratches and stuff like that. So there's other
little things
benefits
that most
as well.
people don't know.
Porn is free on the internet, says
Geisen.
Geisen. It is indeed, Geisen. Every Quest 3 comes with a free Zuck sex doll, says Tsuki. He kind of looks like a sex doll already, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He
Plain
has
white.
That dead eye. Those dead eyes. There's no light.
Pasty skin.
No soul.
Weird hairline.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just. Oh,
Dude, he's weird.
Yeah.
He definitely isn't. If they come out, it's like, hey, guess what? Aliens are real. Zuckerberg is one.
Yeah. Nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised.
I would be like, oh man, that's a horrible disguise. You could have done better than that.
I know. I was like, dude, with all the fucking technology and this,
You're not even trying.
Like,
You're not even trying.
Cyber Chic says a new way to donate sperms. Lol. Bye bye magazines. Maybe Zuck, instead of selling your data, maybe he's going after selling your sperm.
Zuck doll comes included. You just donate it.
Your arch enemy says porn tech has come a long way. They got the proportions right now. No more. I don't understand what you mean by no more. I'm not reading that other comment you put out there. They still print magazines, says Donnie, for the elderly gentleman. Tsuki says Blu-ray players cost nothing. Let's get off the Blu-ray thing because that's a complete random tangent. That's got nothing to do with anything. By that theory, why aren't that's still part of that.
That's the random tangent. It's a Blu-ray.
Besides porn, are there any other topics?
VHS. Why the fuck are we talking about VHS tapes?
Fuck. Sorry for coughing into the mic. That one came out. That one surprised me.
I know why, because Muzz brought it up. Blame it on Muzz.
Listen, can we move on to the next topic, so? No longer talking about porn. We're going back to Jim Ryan, actually. I probably should have moved this up, seeing as we're talking about Jim Ryan. But last week, he did an interview with some people called Fidelity Analysis. I never heard of them before. But they asked him a specific question, and I was hoping I would be able to see this. I'll zoom in here. So the question is, what is Sony's metaverse strategy? How big of a role will VR2 play there? Is it for gaming only, or will it be for something broader in terms of applications and markets? So then Jim responded by saying, we're approaching metaverse conversations through two lenses. First is as a platform holder. We had something called PlayStation Home for the PS3, and that was a very early manifestation of a platform metaverse. It was probably 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. The second is from the studio perspective. We have a couple of projects underway that are very exciting for us in terms of creating some sort of game type metaverse which can possibly have collaboration with other parts of Sony. Sony's entertainment assets have huge potential in the metaverse area. As for VR2, we see it as having a roll down the road. more in the midterm. So what do you make of that? What's he saying there?
Sounds like he's saying
just a bunch of bullshit.
VR is gonna start picking up after like maybe a couple of years or something.
Is he hinting that like maybe PlayStation Home can come back now that the time is more right for it?
Maybe, but I don't see that in a while.
I think he was just using that as an example of how they thinking ahead of the times. With we were doing this way.
That was like 80% cut off. I only heard like the beginning of that sentence.
Son of a bitch.
I don't know what's going on or why it does that.
I don't know.
But yeah, so he says midterm. Do you think that means they've got like they're cooking a metaverse thing themselves, or they're cooking like VR2 games? Is that what he means when he says they got exciting things?
I hope both, but I hope if they pick one as the games.
As for VR2, we see it as having... Oh, wait, no. That's the thing I wanted to read. We have a couple of projects underway that are very exciting for us in terms of creating some sort of game-type metaverse, which can possibly have collaboration with other parts of Sony. So they've got 2 projects that have something to do with metaverse, it sounds like. Surely one of them could be PlayStation Home. No?
Maybe, but PlayStation Home, because I didn't have that shit back in the day. So what was it? What could you do? Yeah. What was that?
You're just like in an area where you'd walk around and you'd see all these other people there, and it's like, I'm looking for a girlfriend, and they'd be like, oh, I'll be your girlfriend, and then you'd be like, come on back to my apartment, and you bring them to your apartment, and if you played a certain game, like I played Tekken 6, and it unlocked like an arcade cabinet that I could decorate my apartment with, and gloves that I could
have
put
your
on
own.
the
Everybody has their own apartment. You can bring people into your apartment.
Yeah. And you could go to like different areas. It was like a bowling mini game. But you'd have to queue up behind other people and wait for them to finish bowling, and then you could use it. And there's like chessboards and all kinds of things around.
Theaters. They had theaters.
Yes.
So rec room-ish, but
not really rec room-ish.
Rec room
more like Second Life. Remember like Second Life or
Sims. It was like
Sim,
like a
kind of Simish. You never got to build anything.
You had your little avatar guy that you could like dress differently.
It felt like a big advertisement, really, is what it felt like. Because like there was this Audi, and like one zone was called the Audi zone, and it was like you just see Audi cars around the place and playing adverts and shit.
How much customization you could do to your characters? Can you buy different?
Decent amount. You can buy different clothes
to buy
hats.
With real money or with the in-game, whatever the fuck you.
I think you use real money, but then like if you played certain games, you could unlock things in the home to use there as well, or you got a certain trophy or whatever.
Who created the games?
Sony, man. It was like a Sony first party. It's called PlayStation Home.
So it's not like Rec Room that the community creates.
Oh no, you couldn't make games in it. It's way more restricted than Rec Room.
Of course.
Let me catch up on some comments, see what people are thinking. Jim Ryan is saying, Amazing NSB says it's like Cyberspunk 20XX. I participated in Home back on PS3, says LSB. So did I. Cyber Chic says he's not saying anything. Donnie says he never does. LSB says they made money on PS3 by selling outfits and avatars. Home was awesome. Decepticon says Home was the shit when they first dropped us. So what changed? Because every time I played it, it seemed to be like full, like it was popular.
Yeah, I think it just started losing its momentum because they weren't implementing enough new stuff into it to kind of keep people interested.
I remember when they showed it off first, they promised like, oh, you'd have your own trophy room so that when you earn a trophy in the game, you get to see it in this room. And oh, here's a room over here. Like if you wanted to play Warhawk, you could go to the Warhawk area and you could plan out your attack on this table, and then you hit the launch button and you'd all go in together. And that shit never happened. It never came.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, well, it was a good idea, but it never like.
Especially in VR, I think if they kind of try to push that again, I think that'll be pretty successful.
But that's what, like, it sounds like he's saying something along those lines when he says they've got 2 projects on the way that are metaverse kind of related. I don't know how else you would describe that, or what else he could be referring to. And then as for VR2, we see it as having a role down the road, more in the midterm. So what's midterm for them?
I don't really like the whole down the road.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
In the midterm. That doesn't sound like we're going to be getting too much until maybe in a couple of years.
I'm going to retire next year, so let me just give you this. Yeah, down the road, something. We'll do something with that down the road. Goodbye.
Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Decepticon says it was early VR chat. That's the perfect way to say it. Early VR chat. That's what PlayStation Home was. And LSB agrees. Okay. I thought we'd talk more about this, but I guess we don't have anything else really to say because it's kind of a vague. We don't really know what.
Look at the dog in the background. We see your dog, Jackpot.
Damn. Get the dog on cam right now.
He's here?
He's in the back. See him on the bed over there.
I see Amanda on the bed.
Ooh.
It's a pillow. Dang. Every bed has pillows on it. What's he doing? Is he just having a conversation with someone? Ignorant. You ignorant bitch.
Shut up. Somebody's at the door, and I told Amanda not to open to some dude with a clipboard fucking trying to sell shit or something.
Damn. Got some dudes coming around. Okay. Next topic is... This is really not much of a topic, but I was reaching for something to talk about. But Vertigo 2, which, by the way, I think we're sleeping on this one. I think this is like a really good game that a lot of people love on PC or whatever, but we're not really paying too much attention to it, even though it's coming out in October.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason I'm talking about this now is because you might have noticed recently, especially with Hellsweeper, is that like a lot of PSVR 2 ports are not maybe where they should be. You know, at launch, yep. Green Hell was maybe another one. What else was there? There's been a few. But Hellsweeper is like the main one because it's the freshest one. So the developer of Vertigo has come out on Twitter and said, well, this is going to look... On PSVR 2, it's going to look exactly like it looks on PC. So he's kind of like reassuring people there, but it kind of feels like that's something that they need to come out and say now. Like a lot of people are asking, anytime a PSVR 2 game is revealed now, people are like in the comments saying, is this going to have foveated rendering? Are you going to take advantage of these things so that it doesn't look like shit? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how we talk about this, but that's just something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
At some point, there has to be like from this point on, every game will have foveated rendering. Like, it has to be like okay, enough of this like half-assing. We have to really using this.
Well, I know it's not like a switch they can flick for this foveated rendering. It's something that's difficult, especially if it's a game that's already been ported. Like if it's been ported, if it was built ground up for PSVR 2, it's probably easier that way. But like look at No Man's Sky, it took like one dude working on it by himself for 4 months.
But look how awesome look how awesome it is. So it's worth it.
But that was their engine. That was their engine. Yeah. So if it was a different engine, it could be a whole different issue. I think Unity games have issues with this for whatever reason. We were talking about this last week. Yeah. Some kind of bug or something, and they won't update it. Decepticon says Huevos. It's the wet bandits. Is that the wet bandits at your door, Jack? Coming to turn on your taps. Cyber Chic says sleep time for me. Night nights. Thank you for stopping by, Cyber Chic. Appreciate it. Good night.
Don't worry, Jackpot has the micro machines on the ground and the heater on the doorknob. He's all prepared.
The little pokey thing spikes outside of the the entrance, the windows, and the glue.
Get the tar on the steps at the back. Yeah.
The Christmas ornaments in front of the windows. He's safe. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I got the washer hooked up to the fucking electrical outlet.
Damn, boy, you're gonna go down for manslaughter.
Yeah.
Those lads shouldn't have survived everything they went through. You know, it was unnatural.
I know. What the
fuck. But yeah, that's everything I want to say about Vertigo 2. But I need to look more into that game because people are like, hey, this is actually better than Half-Life Alyx. This is the one people should be talking about, not, any of these other ones. The next thing I want to talk about, unless you have anything else to say about that?
Nope.
Red Matter. So did you play Red Matter on PSVR 1?
No. I want to play this one.
Okay. Well,
but I've heard is really good.
It's getting a free update. So, well, it's coming to PSVR 2, I should say. You get a free update if you own us on PSVR 1. It's coming on the 5th of October. It's going to include 4K. It's going to have the foveated rendering. It's going to have 90 frames per second native. And it's going to have improved controls. So this game was good on PSVR 1. I enjoyed it. But I'll play it again with the upgrades.
I didn't play it, so I'm happy to play it now.
It's like pure. It's just puzzle after puzzle. But it's been so long since I played it, I can't remember a single one.
Well, that's kind of Red Matter 2. I mean, it had a bit of combat in Red Matter 2, but there was lots of puzzles too.
And then once I play this again,
I just really like the environment. I like the setting of Red Matter, like the space station and like vibe.
Yeah,
really like that.
So, and this will probably get me hyped for Red Matter 2 then, which I really need to buy at some stage.
Is it out on the PSVR 2, Red Matter 2?
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
It sounds like the best looking game on PSVR 2.
Oh, it's so nice. Yeah,
it's like native 4K and all kinds of crazy shit. Or is it even more than 4K? They went into detail about how they
no reprojection.
Yeah,
no reprojection. It's like great, really smooth,
stunningly beautiful game. And next we can talk about Angry Birds VR. I don't really have too much to say about this. Apparently this was on PSVR 1 as well.
Is it? Okay.
It was, yeah. It's coming on October 10th. If you want to buy it new, it's $20. But if you want to get the upgrade, you can pay just $9.99 for the upgrade. And this one will include user med levels, which the PSVR 1 version wasn't able to do that, but this one's going to have that.
I think they have this game on the Quest, the 8 mixed reality shit. I think they have this on it too.
Oh yeah,
just FYI.
The Angry Birds.
I played on the Quest version when I had the app for the free games. Well, free. Yeah, it's what you expect. I mean, it's
Angry Birds.
Yeah. I didn't even think Angry Birds was popular anymore.
Yeah, it was like a big thing in the iPhone, the early iPhone days. I was like, whoa, Angry Birds. Yeah. Look at this.
It's like the first.
And then they kind of peaked out after their movie. They had the movie, and it's just kind of dead after that, I think.
Oscar bait. Decepticon says, get the BB gun, Amanda. I secured the zip line. LSP says, Amanda's perched on the kitchen counter like a bird. Your arch enemy says, Dice, come on, man. Firewall used to enjoy watching you and Pumpkins shooting the shit and having fun. That's it. We gotta put the pressure on Decepticon to get the PSVR 2. And now we've got Gran Turismo 7 back in the mix as well, so he's missing out big time there too.
He's coming. Phasmo. He'll be there.
Yeah, we'll get him back in, I know. But we need him back in for like all the things.
I know, he's a little bitch.
You're gonna have to go have a GoFundMe because he's definitely putting his money into Quest 3.
If we give him the money, then he just buys the Quest 3.
Yeah.
We gotta this next game. I'm gonna get some games.
You gotta have like a contract that he has to sign saying, I will 100% use this money for PlayStation VR 2.
And he was like, oh, I won't pay for the PS Plus. I won't pay for that monthly PS Plus, so I can't play with the online. LSP says, on Nintendo Wii, there was a game called Boom Blocks. Seems to be a model for this game. I don't doubt you. But I also don't care, because it's Angry Birds. It was a real reach for me to put this in the segment altogether, or today's show.
But no, you put that, and I was like, man, if we're going that route, we talk about fucking Cactus game or whatever.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about Cactus. Yeah. But actually, you know what? I read the UploadVR article about this, and they gave the original one a good review. So apparently, it's not like a shit game.
Of what?
Angry Birds, yeah. No, I don't know about Cactus.
Well, it's Angry Birds. If you like Angry Birds, the mobile game, it's the same shit, but in VR.
Yeah, maybe it's
a little bit more immersive, but it's just there's nothing. It's Angry Birds.
All right. Well, I got something more interesting to talk about next, at least. All right. Well, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Boom. Take a look at these bad boys. This is a weird one now. So these are prototype VR controllers that Sony are working on right now, and I got this from UploadVR by David Heaney over there. So I don't know how this happened, but he got to test them out. He got to try them out, which is weird because Window Media get to try out prototypes. I don't really know what that's about. But it's actually, they sound really impressive actually. So there are two different controllers, but you can combine them in different configurations. So you stick them end to end, or you can stick them up and down, kind of like a gun shape. And they've got this motor in them that goes up and down, so it shifts the weight inside the controller itself, like it goes up and down like a shaft, kind of like pumping thing. Hold on a sec, this is messing with my feed, but whatever, it doesn't matter too much. So it can also mimic impact. You can see in the video there, which I had to like bootleg, like capture it because I wasn't able to download it any other way. But you can see like it does like a quick shaft up and down thing, so like it seems like a really impactful kind of a force going on in that. The demo that he tried had 3 different things. So it was like a sword, a shotgun, and an umbrella. And he said the umbrella was the most impressive because you could open out the umbrella and you'd feel the weight shift when he opened this, and then you'd feel on the haptics the rain hitting the top of the umbrella. And he mentioned as well that in the video. Say that again, sorry.
So this is what, PSVR 3?
We don't know. We don't know what this is. It might never happen. Might never even come out. But it's like just a weird research thing they're working on. So they're using Vives and PC equipment because it's all developer stuff. But yeah, I don't understand why he was trying this out and why there's an article about it. Like, it was one thing. It'd be one thing if you found like a patent about this, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, they're working on weird random patents all the time. But
maybe there was some dick sucking involved. I don't know.
I don't know. But like, how? It's just very unusual that you're invited to go try out a prototype controller that might never come out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, was it an accident? Did he have like blackmail on the guy to let him try it out? Or something?
I doubt it, but
like, did anyone else have anything listed online yet about trying it out, or is it just this one?
That's the only one I've seen. That's the only one I've seen, but I didn't go too deep into it. And this article only came out today, so I was like, it's kind of like when I was researching anything to talk about for this. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I haven't seen this anywhere else. So, especially this mechanic now that's shown on screen now. It's like the shifting thing up and down. Sorry, Jack, what you said?
I said, yeah, I saw it a couple days ago. I don't know where.
Okay.
Just an FYI, your Windows on your
I know,
screen
yeah,
there.
I know. But I'm not going to bother with it. Just for the duration of this topic, I'll let myself be cut off. And it's coming on to yours a little bit as well. Sorry about that. Your Archenemy says, yeah, he should come play Firewall. If you love games and friends, come play again. I'll donate to Dice Co. I don't know what he means by Co. Come play again. But there we go. We got one that'll donate. Decepticon says, fax Hess and tell him to shred those Sony chains. But there's still Gran Turismo 7. There's still going to be loads of stuff you'll miss out on, Come on. Just get us. Just do it. LSB says, looks like a fucking dildo. Keep in mind now, this is just... I'm sure the finished product would look different. Hess nothing, Sony nothing. I'll start a GoFundMe for you guys to play again, and I bet Manny will, says your arch enemy. Donate. Tsuki says, making new controllers when we can't even buy the old ones, says Tsuki. I know, it's still ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Yep.
Decepticon says, Phasmo in a few weeks, we'll be back to the LOLs. Until there's probably another issue will pop up and it's like, oh, crossplay doesn't work. Wait a month until crossplay works. But yeah. So yeah, is there anything else to say about these controllers? What do you think?
They're cool.
Well, like the thing that stands out to me the most is the way you can mimic impact. So if you're doing like a sword fighting game, I might actually feel like your controller just got hit by something,
It's just all about how it feels and how actually it implements and if it's actually really, really cool. And some people are not into that as much. I personally really like the peripherals or this shit that makes you try to get more into the game or more immersed, but some people might not really care much about this shit.
The way it transforms is pretty cool. Like the way that you can turn it into multiple things, I guess. Like,
all right. Okay. Well,
it's just like the controllers, right? The controllers make a huge difference for me when I play Pavlov, PlayStation, and PC. So I feel like for this, and I was surprised how much the controllers for me make a difference in the headset vibrating. So that's why I'm a little bit more excited than I probably would about stuff like this, because I can see now how, for me personally, it actually improves a lot the game just by the feedback stuff on the controllers and the headset. So it looks like shit. Like, it looks like LSB says a bunch of dildos, but I'm sure.
Why do you think it has such good haptics in it?
Well, multiple uses, so maybe they'll leave this shit how it is.
Pompous.
But no, I think the technology, it's cool that they're trying to make you more immersed into the games.
And then you also have to see if the game developers have to actually use it in their games. Not like it's going to be guaranteed every game's going to use this thing. So
yeah,
this is true. All right, we'll move on to the final final topic before we go into the fax machine, which is a game I've never heard about before. Battle Bows is coming to PSVR 2. Apparently this is on Quest and PC. All we know about this is that it's coming to PSVR 2. No days, no other information. So there you go. It's like seems to be an online archery type game. I didn't even watch this trailer, to be honest. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what you do in this. I don't know if it's like PvP. I don't know.
It looks like it's And actually, I think we should get more of these games because they're actually pretty cool. There was a game on the PSVR 1 that it was a tactical game. It wasn't you do first and then I do first. It wasn't turn based. It was just like we do, but it was like a strategy game, like a war game. And you had different troops and different tanks, and you had to like, okay, you go here, and then you move here, and then you have planes and shit. So this is kind of what it looks like to me. You just kind of, play with different people, and then there's shit that's happening live, and you do that. But I think we need more games like that. And I play with Decepticon, and I fucking kill them every time we play. And he's gonna say no, but those type of games, I think we should have more. Like 1v1 strategy, but like not turn based. I think those are cool.
Okay.
Forgot the name of it.
Just looking at this now, it kind of looks like it might be like a tower defense type thing.
Right.
Yeah, like set your troops up where you want them to like protect the base and stuff.
And then you're like destroying the mob AIs that come in. But yeah, not really tickling my butthole too much, but might be for someone else out there.
That's for the controller to do, right?
Exactly, amen. You know it was, you dog. You dog, you. But yeah, okay, let me get the fax machine turned on, which means you need to be silent for 12 seconds exactly.
It's that time again for questions and topics
just
submitted by our viewers. So let's go to our fax machine and see what we have. Fax me harder, Daddy. I've been a bad boy.
Alright. I think we're back. So, we're on the fax machine, and we did get faxes today, which I was surprised about because I only asked from like very last minute. All of this was last minute. Still nothing from First Contact, by the way. But let me open up that fax machine. Okay. So the first one we got was from Pete, aka the governor. He says, if you could have any last gen flash PS title in VR on the PSVR 2, what would it be? And all of us can only pick one. So when he says last gen, so he means like a PS4 generation game.
But he says Sony, mean like Sony IP or?
He didn't say Sony.
Or just
He'd never said
just
Sony.
say any game.
So he said last gen flat PlayStation title in VR on the PSVR 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go last because I gotta think a lot.
For me, it's GTA 5 for me.
I'm torn between Grand Theft Auto, Battlefield. Not the most recent one. Battlefield 5.
Okay.
Fuck Muzz. Because I was gonna say Bad Company 2, Vietnam DLC. If I have to be very specific.
He said last gen.
On PS4.
Unless he meant any last generation game, as in like any generation before this.
In that case, any Battlefield game.
If not, then I guess Red Dead Redemption 2. There we go.
All right. I'm happy with them.
Not a bad one either. Not a bad one.
How about in the chat? Mass Effect Trilogy says Tsuki. Dead Space. He's cheating. He's putting too many.
He is cheating. And Dead Space was not last gen. It wasn't a PS4 game.
Mass Effect
Trilogy says I beat
like...
that ass. Are you saying you're clapping them cheeks? You're clapping them jackpot cheeks? Is that what you're saying?
Fuck no.
He's beating that ass. So the next one we've got is... Oh, he changed it to Mass Effect Trilogy, which is also cheating because it's 3 games in one. God damn, Tsuki, why you gotta cheat constantly? So the next one
just can't follow the rules. Follow the rules, Tsuki.
Brave Sir Robin, and he asks a very interesting one. I'm gonna go last on this one if you don't mind. So he says, would you rather have a threesome with your parents but no one would find out, or not have a threesome with your parents but everyone thinks you did?
What do you mean the second option? Why is that even a question?
What do you? Okay, you're going first.
About that again.
No, go on. Say it. What's your answer?
My answer is I'll never want to do that in my life, and people can think whatever.
Well, hold on a sec. You're losing your job. You're losing your girlfriend. All right. Amanda will think you did. That's the thing. It says everyone will think you did.
I don't give a fuck.
You'll be an outcast.
Before I do anything.
You will be an outcast.
I'll be fine. I'll learn how to fucking.
All you gotta do is suck your father's toes a little bit.
Fuck. Where are these coming? This is worse than the porn talk. Why are we? This is not. All right. I'm glad that you say you'll go last because that means that you need to think about it.
You're now banned from putting questions in the fax machine.
I like the
hell no, I'm not doing that. I don't give a shit.
Everyone will think you did. Everyone will think you did.
Yeah, but I know I know that I didn't, so that's what
you won't
matters.
have a job. You won't have a job.
Oh,
I don't think.
I don't think they couldn't fire you because that's personal.
Are you sure?
You
isn't incest is illegal though? So you commit a crime when you do that.
Not
you could go to jail. You could go to jail for that. You got to look up your Canadian laws there.
You'll move to the Middle East and you'll be fine.
I don't.
Maybe I could just sue them and make a lot of money, and then I don't care anymore. I'm just rich.
Jerem says option C: have the threesome and everyone knows. Your arch enemy says.
Next question, please. This will be the type of shit that Decepticon will love, because he likes that weird, disgusting pay-per-view shit with the STDs and stuff.
Yeah, okay. You say so.
What do you mean?
I'm doing it. By the way, I'm doing that. I'm not having everyone think I had sex with my parents.
Wait, what?
I'm doing it. That's my answer.
Of course.
I'd do it.
Disgusting.
Oh, disgusting. It's disgusting. Listen, nobody would know. Nobody would know.
There's no loophole about how much participation you actually have to be in. So
there you go. Just a little in and out. A little in and out. All right.
Oh no. And nope. I'm out again.
Yeah, you guys do your thing.
Listen, you put it in the fax machine. We got to answer the questions. That's how it works. All right. Peace came back for part 2. He has another question. Okay.
Okay.
So he says also after Mrs. H, which is his wife, getting pumpkins cushions. Do you remember this? She got cushions with pumpkins on it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She now has a pumpkins ice cube tray for fucking pumpkin shaped ice cubes. What does this mean?
Nice.
Is she a hardcore, fully fledged pumpkin worshipper? I think it means she's been watching me. You've been watching me, and she's in the background, kind of watching, and she likes what she sees. Peace.
She likes what she Pete, I'm gonna go shower, Pete. I'm just gonna take my phone.
Sounds like
while you guys watch.
Every time I start streaming, she goes for a shower. Every time.
And she likes to suck on those pumpkins too.
Damn, a couple of pumpkins floating around her mouth. No harm. Sorry, Pete. You didn't deserve that. Tasuki says, with the breaking news that Jim Ryan is stepping down as CEO of Sony PlayStation, do you see this as a good or bad thing? Probably kind of answered this already when we talked about it, but if you had to put it down, you don't care. But if you had to go one way or the other.
I just don't know who the fuck they're gonna put. Whoever they put is good, then sure, get out of here.
Okay.
So I'll spend your money.
I think it's a better possibility that it's a good.
Okay, I probably agree with that.
Be optimistic.
And then there's something for Peepo, but Peepo is just replying to Rogue's comment from last week. And then there's another comment there, and then Decepticon actually comes in with are tumblers better than pumpers? I was hoping you would know what that meant. Are tumblers better than pumpers? Tumbler is a type of glass, isn't a tumbler like a type of glass? But then pumpers, that sounds sexual. Tasuki says you and your parents would know. Well, actually, if you look at the wording of that,
no, we're not going back.
If you
to
look
this.
at the wording of that, he says no one would find out. So
it doesn't matter.
Maybe your parents, maybe all your memories get erased. That I don't even find out about.
Men in Black.
Maybe
maybe
he's left some wiggle room in there. Or get blackout drunk, so then you forget anyway. There's loads of options. Roofie yourself. Roofie yourself.
I'll just prefer people shun me. I'll be fine by myself.
Decepticon has clarified. He says people that tumble and shirt pumpers. What the fuck is he talking about? This is a reference to something that I haven't watched, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Or some STD reference or something.
I'm not following.
It's probably some Jersey sexual perverted furry terminology or something.
I just realized I forgot to put on the fax machine, but I don't know where that video's gone. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
How about the Ghostbusters game? What do you guys think now that we saw?
You're gonna keep asking us about that. We talked about this last time, didn't we?
Did we? After we saw it? God damn it.
When did we see it? Yeah, we saw it at the State of Play.
Was that it?
We talked about that last week.
Well,
Yeah. Maybe
don't
be
buy
present. Can you be present, please? What do you mean don't buy it? You haven't given me a good reason why you think it's bad.
I don't think it's bad, but what everybody kind of says is kind of like it doesn't really keep you engaged as much. The gameplay, you know.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
I don't feel strongly about it one way or another.
I just feel like with Phasmophobia there, you just forget about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one. And we're on the 28th now, my time, so maybe like we're exactly a month away maybe from Phasmophobia.
Maybe.
I know they didn't give us a date, but, you know, they said like in the week up to Halloween, so, you know. This time next month, we'll be playing it, having a good time, hopefully. But anyway, we're out of topics. We're out of questions from the fax machine.
We're out of time.
What time is it?
You gotta go pick him out.
2 hours.
No.
Well, is she waiting in the rain
again?
outside for an hour?
He waits for it to rain, and then he's like, "Okay."
When it starts raining, all right, give me 2 hours.
5 minutes. At least 5 minutes. Then, all right, now it's time to go.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's
she
it. Then.
Appreciates you more.
That's it. Apologies for the kind of rough nature of today's one. I kind of forgot that TT was coming. Like I forgot it was Wednesday, and I didn't have the topics ready, and it was a bit of a mess. But we got there in the end.
You did it.
Anyway, Muzz and Jackpot, thank you for joining me. Everyone in the chat, thank you very much for all the chats and the lols and the thumbs up. If you thumbed up, I appreciate that too. And the questions in the fax machine, even Brave Sir Robbins, you know, because it's something to talk about, isn't it? Take off that T-shirt, burn it, put that bigoted stuff in the bin. Anyway,
Let's have a belly.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. See y'all in the video games.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What the fuck is this?
Closing this. I hate you both. Goodbye.